And we are live. What's going on, everybody? We got a special panel tonight, just me and a couple of girls. Welcome to the Purple Pod, episode 80, number one show in the world for dating, started right here in Dallas, Texas. Please make sure to like the video on y'all's way in. Subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you can see every time we got a live show that's going to be coming up. Follow us on the podcast Instagram as well, and add these ladies because they came on the show. They drove all the way out here, so please go add them, show some support. If you want to show some support for the channel, you can do that by hitting the join button under the video to become a YouTube member, which comes with some emojis for a show, and you can super chat in any questions y'all have for the ladies. We're also on all audio platforms as well, such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure to add, that always pops up. Make sure to add the Instagram right now so you can add those ladies though. And don't DM them any crazy shit, please, guys. If you're a lady that's in Dallas and you want to come on the podcast, please hit me up. And you can come on whenever. We're having a hard time recruiting right now. Ladies are living in the pools this summer, it seems like. And school's starting right now, so I know a lot of y'all have kids, so I can understand that too. Shout out to Michael Mitrok. Everybody, please slide in, or when you come in, please hit that damn like button, guys. Thank you very, very much. But yeah, to start off, we like to know what's your name, your age, your education level, what do you do for work, and your relationship status. We're gonna start with you.
Well, my name is Jessica. Do I need to give my last name?
No.
Okay. My name is Jessica. I'm 29. I have some college experience. And what's the other things?
Education level, what do you do for work,
I'm a salvage specialist for an insurance company.
and what's your age?
29.
29. And then what's your relationship status?
I'm divorced, so still single.
Still single? How long have you been divorced? Or like how many years?
On my birthday it'll be 4 years.
4 years, and you haven't had any relationship since getting married?
I've had since I got divorced. Yeah, I've had one, but and that lasted for about a year.
About a
Ever
year.
since then I've been single. So about like the last 3 years or so.
And the guy that you were married to, how long were y'all married?
Married for 4 years, but we were together for 8.
So you met him when you were together for 8, so you knew him since you were 16?
Yes,
Wow.
exactly.
Crazy. Yeah, so like can you give me insight of like why that was bad or like why it didn't work out? Cuz I hear these stories all the time and they like never work, like these relationships, like that start that early. Like what happened with y'all's?
I mean, I do think that when you've been together that long, and you're young and you're learning yourself and you're making mistakes because you don't really understand the consequences at that age, um, you end up hurting each other in ways that I think you wouldn't if you were mature and an adult and could actually think further than high school.
Did y'all both do each other wrong?
Um, I mean, I feel like eventually, but in the beginning, no.
It was just him at first?
Yeah, my basically I got divorced. Not well. The short answer is because he had an affair, but that's really not the whole thing. It
Yeah.
wasn't that simple. But during the breakup, when you're not legally divorced, you're like, oh, I'm separated, and that don't matter because you still married. So
Well, you should have been playing that Ross and Rachel game anyways. That's some goofy shit when people
Right.
do that, in my opinion.
And so that's why I say that I might have done him wrong too, because yeah, I did start seeing someone after that happened. But again, in my mind, I was out the house. I was not pursuing a relationship with him anymore. We were just waiting for the divorce to happen.
Yeah, and so like but he cheated first though.
Right.
He definitely cheated 1st. I gotta ask like really quick, like what's something that you did wrong and what's something that he did wrong? If you could think of something specifically.
Well, I think the biggest mistake I made was thinking that he was responsible for like all my happiness. I thought that it was my job to make him happy, his job to make me happy. And I learned like later on that it was like he couldn't really make me happy the way that I wanted to be, and that it was like an internal thing.
That's a really good self-reflection.
Yeah, but that was my problem is I kept thinking he was supposed to make me happy all the time.
Yeah, and then one of his problems was he cheated. Yeah.
Yeah, the infidelity, because it wasn't like he cheated on me one time and that was it. He had problems in the past, but I thought since we got married that he wouldn't anymore. And he didn't for the first 3 years.
How old was he when you were 16?
He was 18.
And like, was he the type whenever y'all first got together and stuff that he was the type where he wanted to sleep with other girls? Like was he a virgin, or how many bodies did he have when y'all first got together?
So he wasn't a virgin, but I don't know how many bodies he had because I wasn't even having sex at that point, so I wouldn't.
But like, was he like a manho? Like, did you see the signs basically that like he was gonna have infidelity issues in the future?
No, because he was not that dude. Like I didn't really.
He sounded like a good Christian boy.
Well, he tried to become that later on. I mean, we both had religious backgrounds, and we tried to keep that in the relationship even early on.
Okay.
But he wasn't like the player. Like if you would have seen, he was lame, honestly. And a
Mm.
lot of he would say that about himself. He'll
Yeah.
say like, "I don't lame." I don't.
Yeah.
But I was kind of getting away from my norm because my norm was like hood dude, bad dude, stuff like that. But I was already getting over that, And so I was just like, he wasn't my type at
You
all.
went through the hood dudes like younger than 16. You were already over that by 16.
Kind of, yes,
Kind of.
because I had
When you
exes
grow up
where
in the hood,
Yeah.
that's what you have to
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like all the
do.
biggest G's are messing with very young women
But
for
not
sure.
even
Usually.
that. But I had dudes like literally I was dating one dude, and his daddy had got my number somehow and called me looking for him. The dude, I guess he ran away, but he was coming to see me, and he was playing like he was going to school, and he was pretending the whole time. And his dad's like, "Oh yeah, he ain't been to school in days." I'm like, "He comes over here in a uniform, what?" Um, but yeah, and then police was calling me looking for him. I'm like, "Hey, bro, I'm 16." I'm like, "Nah, this ain't it."
Yeah.
So I had to leave that, and stuff. And then just hood mentalities, dudes that wanted to have biracial children. They talking to me about just having babies, just two. You know what I'm saying? We don't know anything about that at that age, but it's like, oh, you mixed, so what's up? Da da da. It's like,
You make
um,
pretty kids, basically.
right, and with like
Oh,
the
so they'll like say that they want to be with you just because you're light skinned?
well, the
There are
biracial
very
part,
much,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
It's
by
not
being
just because
biracial.
yeah.
being light skinned is one thing, but when people find when especially because I'm half black and half Mexican, when my black people find out that I'm Mexican, it's like, oh, you Mexican?
So what's
Like
the difference between biracial and or what was the other thing that we just said? But like I feel like it's the same though, you
They're
know?
both, well, biracial
Here,
is
talking
just
to
a
the mic.
and
blanket
light skin.
term.
You said light skin.
Oh yeah, light
Oh,
skin. Like what's the difference between light skin and
well,
biracial?
there are very light complected, fully black
Yeah, like
individuals.
if you see their
There are
parents,
people who are
both
my
parents are
color
like dark.
who are very much black, like fully black.
Okay.
And biracial just means that you're more than just black.
So it might be
You're
like
mixed with them.
Dominican
Yeah.
or like Hispanic or
Well,
something
White.
like
that's
that.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you can be mixed with it. Yeah, I'm mixed with black and white,
Oh, okay.
and then
I've
she's
just never looked at it
black
that
and
way. I
Hispanic.
mean, I just didn't know that.
Well, and see, I think for other cultures it's not as important, but for black men it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they pay attention to that. I don't think other cultures really care, but I'm not sure.
I think it's conditioning from years and years of a lot of stuff, which we don't have to really touch right now. But the good hair, the light skin, like men do say we will make pretty babies or whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Uh,
it's kind of offensive actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little racist, maybe just a little bit.
Not
What
racist, colorist
a
would
colorist?
probably
Yeah,
be what it
a
is.
little bit colorist. Yeah. Well, so yeah, you go ahead now. What's your name, age? Thank you for coming back, by the way. Name, age, education level, what you do for work, and your relationship status.
For sure. Thank you for having me back. My name is Kat. I am 30 years old. Um, what else? Education. I am currently in college at the moment. Um, I am a licensed insurance adjuster. However, I am in between jobs at the moment. Hire me. Um, what else? What was it?
Age.
Relationship
in relationship
status.
status. Yeah.
I am single.
What's your age? Did you say that?
30.
30. Okay. And no, thank you so much. Guys, we're gonna dive deep tonight on attachment styles because shout out to actually Live Love Plan and Pray. You actually commented to me to do this, so that's why we're actually gonna do this one. Shout out to you. One of my best mods. I appreciate you for everything that you do, girl. Let's start off by I want to know what attachment style do y'all think you have? Like if you had to figure out, what type of style you have, there's usually either you push people away or you pull them in too much. Like which one would you say that you are? We'll start with you on this one.
I definitely have an anxious attachment style. That would be my attachment style.
So like, but do you
I
are you more
I'm a
likely to push the
latcher.
guy away or pull him together?
I
Pull you
think
two.
that I'm kind of a mixture of the two, though. I think that sometimes, depending on the situation, I'll push people away, and then it's like I'll push you away once I realize I start caring because I don't want to even go through
You don't
that.
want to hurt yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then once I'm like there, like I'm latching on,
Yeah,
basically.
if it's that right guy or
Yeah.
something. Okay. What do you think you have?
I think I pull people to me. I almost never pull away really. Like it's rare. I've had to try to express myself to you multiple times. You not get it or not understand. For me to be like, okay, I'm pulling away because you're not helping me with that. But I definitely pull people closer. I want people around me. I want people, even if they don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? I just want someone there. That's
Mhm.
really big for me.
Yeah, no, no. I feel like I'm very codependent. I gotta ask, do y'all think that it's natural to have that type of style, to have the type of style where like you like cling to somebody or like you want them to be around more, or do you think it's more natural for us to push people away? Which one is the thing that's like more default
I definitely
for
think
us?
that pulling people closer is the default because
Mhm.
naturally as humans we crave connection and
And it starts from
intimacy
birth. I
and
mean, that
Yeah,
starts
yeah,
from
it's I mean we
childhood
need
first to
skin to
promote.
skin as soon as you come
Mhm.
out the womb,
yeah, yeah. A baby will
So
die if they're not touching their mother for so
yeah,
many
I mean,
days. Yeah.
they can very much so, and yeah, I think it's just a natural thing. We thrive off of human connection. We
Yeah.
thrive off of
I think society
you
kind
know,
of, because of the brokenness and everything, it makes you feel like you have to pull away. That's a big. I think that's a big thing that people do, and I think that's why they choose to do it.
Now,
yeah. I think pulling away is a sign of trauma for sure.
if y'all met a guy, is it more of a red flag if he's clingy, or more of a red flag if he's running from everything?
Ooh,
I think it depends.
I honestly, I don't feel
Yeah,
like
it
I
definitely
meet.
depends on the guy.
I think it depends.
Yeah,
Well, I
cause
think it
I
depends.
don't, I can't even tell you the last time I met a clingy guy. I don't think I met a clingy guy. I feel like they all are kind of like won't let you in, or only will let you into a certain degree.
I think there's a thin line between clingy and like obsessive and controlling, and I think that it's kind of hard to decipher sometimes. So
I
I think that that
I
kind of
I
will
like
will
pictured like
cause me to pull away if I feel like you're like because I feel like I've had bad experiences. So
because of a guy being controlling.
obsessive,
Yeah,
not necessarily
like
controlling.
following you type
I
stuff.
think
Like,
that's why it makes the clingy one sounds kind of a little bit worse than him just
Right,
pulling
because it's
away.
almost like dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
men that are too. I don't like to say this, but like men that can't control their emotions are too emotional. They
they're
can be
dangerous.
dangerous.
A
Yeah, they're
thousand
very dangerous.
percent. Yeah, I actually one of the big things I talk about that's very triggering whenever I talk about it on the show sometimes is that guys shouldn't show their emotions, and it's because when you encourage it all the time, it makes a guy into the type of guy where he lashes out emotionally, and men aren't meant to do that. Like, we're very dangerous whenever our
Yeah,
emotions, like school shooters, like all the bad stuff that happens, the reason why we're so violently suicidal and stuff like that, oh, it all goes back to that one fact about us, that we're very physically emotional. What guys need to do is we have to go work out, we have to go do physical activities. That's what exerts, like we emote differently. Like, women really need to go to therapy and talk to people about
right.
problems. Like, if my girl's pissed off, all she wants to do is talk about it.
Yeah,
And like, if I'm pissed off, dude, I need to go fucking throw something. Like, I need to
yeah. Or
go.
play the game
I,
or
I
something.
like I play paintball. I want to go shoot someone. Like, that's like my, like, I want to go inflict something on something. Like, I don't know, I want to go like mess stuff up, and I just don't think that women are even close to that. Like, I think you're so the opposite of it actually, which is like healthy, dynamic kind of,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. I want to ask now though, do you think that your parents had any effect on y'all's attachment styles, or is it all based off of, like, do you think it came from your parents, or do you think it came from your relationships? Start with you on that one.
So for me, being honest, I think it was the lack of um the lack of the attention and all that stuff with my parents. So where I feel like I have both my I grew up with both of my parents. They like me met when they were young and got married and just stayed that, had all these kids and stayed together. Um but I feel like my dad was always in the house, but he was just kind of antisocial to us. He'd come in, go to his room, go back out, and that's it. Like, we saw him, hey daddy, and then that was it.
I can co-sign
Um
to that because I grew up like we grew up basically together, and I mean
he
I
wouldn't even
knew
speak to
he
my
was
friends half the
there.
time.
I knew he was there, but we never really saw him like
Yeah.
ever.
And then my mom, me being the only girl, I have three brothers. We were close, but almost like we shouldn't be. My mom was young, so it was almost like we were sisters, not really like mother daughter. And so I grew up feeling like I was craving it, like I was craving, you know, these attachments
A
to,
male validation.
especially to male, but it was mothers too. I mean, I would meet someone, and if they had like if their mom was there and she was just nice or loving to me, it's like, oh, you mama now. Like, I'm gonna call you mama, and to me, it's normal. Like, I just look at that's like my respect for you and everything, but that's really also too the girl feeling like that she didn't have that. Like, and not to say my mother wasn't there, she's there,
Mhm.
but it felt like we were sisters. So I think the lack of them pulling me in makes me do it to other people.
Yeah.
And it made me be like that in my relationship because like I didn't get that. My parents pulled away from me, and I'm sitting here, and so it caused me to pull people in.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think yours came from your relationships or from your parents?
Definitely it's a childhood thing, a parental thing. I'd never really had like parents. So my mom was very sick my entire life. So she was not present. She was in a nursing home. And then I don't know who my dad is. So
And do you think like you push away because you were never used to like that type of connection? So now any guy that, does try to cling or do that, like you're more likely to push away because it doesn't feel normal to you?
I think it's more of a trust thing for me. I just don't really.
You had trust issues when
Yeah.
it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not super like it takes time to get that affectionate, loving version of me,
Okay.
I guess. And so I guess it just depends on whether you're willing to stick through it.
Okay. Yeah, break down the walls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I got to ask really quick, do you think it's a guy's responsibility to do that?
Break down the walls per se? No, absolutely not. It's I choose when to
Let them down.
reveal myself. Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's really up to me to decide when the right time for myself is, you know. But as far as it being anybody's responsibility to heal me in any type of way, absolutely not. That's something I'm doing within myself.
I do think that men can help you realize things that you might have not seen that you were like blocking though.
Ooh, 1,000%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They can, and I think
relationships in general.
Like there's only so much I can heal on my own, but I know more things will come out when I'm dealing with someone else when they can point it out to me because I don't notice or it just happens. So
yeah. And to preface, when I say relationships, I'm pansexual, so I also date women. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like it's more like she said, they can very much show you things that you didn't know about yourself prior.
it's your job
but I
to fix
also
it.
do to a certain extent feel like it is a man's job as much as it is ours to show me that I can be vulnerable. I can be my vulnerable self around them.
Yeah, but he needs to be a leader to make you want to feel comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so like this is a little controversial, but I really don't believe that like women know what they want. I really think that
I
when
don't
y'all
think anyone knows what they want.
well, no, like there is a logic to it. Like there is a lot, and men are very logical, so we like figure out a lot of certain logical issues. So like the thing is like say like you end up with the perfect guy. He has all the money, he has everything, and he gives you everything you want. He buys you the Birkins, he buys you the cars, like he does everything. Sometimes you find out by the end of that road that all that stuff isn't really what you wanted. That's not actually really what made you happy.
Right.
And I actually think that like the guys that do everything that the girl wants, like when he's just like, yes, baby, whatever you want, I'll do it for you. Yeah, whatever you want. Those guys are actually a problem. Like, I think that that's a huge issue. And like a guy needs to be firm and know what's best for the family and know what's the best for both of y'all. And a man will tell you what you need. Like, and only a real man, obviously. I think there's a lot of simp ass loser dudes out here that are going to give you everything you fucking want. But like I said, once you get to the end of that road, you're going to realize it's not even what you really wanted. And I think that's the problem today is that so many guys are giving women everything y'all want. Think about how many guys have money and can take you on dates or whatever, for free. And you think that's what you want, but it's just no. You really want a guy that's gonna like hold you down, like like through everything, and make you save all the money for a 401k and like save for the future and want a family and kids and stuff.
Sometimes it's the opposite.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes you think you want the guy who's gonna make you save for the 401k, but really you want the guy with the money.
yeah. No, I think the money one. My opinion on the money thing. I think y'all always want the guy with the money, but it's so
Not
hard to
me.
find a guy who can like take care of himself today.
Not me. Honestly, I can say, I met my ex-husband when we were when I was 16, he's 18, but he went off to school to be an engineer. We were pretty much together the entire time. So when he graduated, we got married soon after that. So at one point, I mean, he wasn't all the way at six figures, but it was up there, and I was a stay-at-home mom. I got pregnant right away, became a stay-at-home mom, and I was that for 3 years before my divorce.
That's dope.
And
Good job.
it was it was nice being home. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was never truly comfortable with it because I didn't grow up seeing it. There wasn't any stay-at-home mothers in my, then let alone women in my family weren't even getting married. So it's like, I was doing something that had never been done in my group, in my circle. And I had a nice life. And I'm not gonna say we went on trips. It's a lot of things that I gained from that because of the money, but I could tell you that I never was with him for that. I didn't have like I didn't care about purses. Like I was so just
Do
not
you
into
take
that
any
stuff.
of it for granted? Like, do you wish that you had any of it back again? Just wondering.
Um, to a certain degree, yeah. Like some, not, and I'm gonna lie, who wouldn't want like someone taking care of them and paying their bills? You know what I'm saying? Because now that I do it myself,
Yeah, now.
yeah, now that I do it myself, I'm like, hey, who want to do it? Nah,
Yeah.
but no, but for me, moving on from that relationship, it was cool. But I know there's issues that come with making that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, those things affected our relationship and our marriage. People treated me funny because of it. And you looked at a certain way. So for me moving forward, I was just like, he ain't gotta have all the money. Like he could be an average Joe. Honestly, if he make more than me, I'm happy. Like
Yeah,
really,
so
honestly.
I got a few layers I want to peel back right there. That's like I think we're really gonna figure something out about this. So like you said, like now you want to take care of a guy because there's certain bad things that come with choosing the guy that has the money and can take care of you that way. Um, so but you're choosing that, like you're choosing that like broker guy or that more normal guy or whatever out of like a trauma response. It's coming because like you experienced something that hurts you,
Mhm.
and then that's why you're choosing that. And so there's a problem with that though, and a lot of women are on that cycle. It's one of my favorite things I talk about because most women get into that same cycle where they want to play build a man or they take care of certain men, and it's
Well, I
because
ain't saying I want to take care. Look, I'm
well
take care
yeah.
of him in sickness and health type stuff, but
Yeah.
but I
But
didn't
so
mean
it all
it.
goes back to something though that's like a fundamental issue in society today. And like I'm not gonna. Let me preface this. I'm not condoning cheating. I don't cheat. I'm in a relationship. I don't cheat. I don't say that guys should do this.
Mhm.
But like the thing is that a high value guy is gonna be highly sought after, and for all of history,
Mhm.
it's always been this way. Okay, and when we look at cheating, do you think cheating is the same between a man and a woman? Like if
No,
you
I
cheat,
know it's not.
yeah, so since it's not the same, like if we look at the stats, it's like 80% of the women that cheat are like they want to be with the person who they're
Right.
having an affair with, and it's for men it's like 30%.
Mhm.
It's way less. So like
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, sometimes he can cheat and it'll fuck up everything for you, and like it's
Mhm.
because he's going full there. But like if he was fully taking care of you and then like that was completely separate, I just kind of think those families should try to stay together the best they
Mhm.
can. Now, like it
Mhm.
just depends how rude he was being about it. Like if he was like doing it in your face, and like I have a huge thing against simping, and I think simping is just like, and I think that it would bother you a lot as a woman if a guy is giving his resources a lot to these women. Like say like he's tricking off and he's spending $1,000 every time he fucks a girl or something like that would
Mhm.
piss you off because that's
Mhm.
you and your child's savings in the
Right.
future. That's a lot of money, bro.
Right.
So it's like that would piss you off. Or if he's taking a girl on multiple dinners or he's like paying for her apartment, it's like
And see what
because you're emotionally getting attached to her then, and if you lose the emotional attachment, then you lose everything that you invested in him.
and see, and that's the thing that was happening because it wasn't a one and done type of situation. My husband was having a 5 month long affair that I didn't know about, and this is only maybe 4 months after I just given birth to our second daughter. So,
It's the emotional loss that you'll have that's dangerous to
mhm.
you and
Mhm.
and your kids. It's
Right.
dangerous to both of
And I
y'all.
saw money
Yeah.
leaving, and like the stuff you said, like I saw money leaving. I'm like, okay, where is it going? Because
Yeah,
that's not me and him.
I always talk about this. I always bring this up. Like, there's reasons why a woman will leave a guy who's cheating, and it's because he's not just physically fucking the girl and coming
Yeah.
back. Because you might have accepted, you might
Yeah.
have been like, you know what, fuck it. But like him going and doing like losing investment. Like my big thing is just like you can't lose. Like you can't give out your money, energy, attention, and time when you
Mhm.
have kids.
Yeah.
When you have fucking kids that are your
Yeah.
responsibility, it's insane.
Yeah.
What? Stop sipping
Emmanuel's
now.
on the line.
Yeah, no, for real. Stop simping now. And everybody, please like the video if you're coming in right now. $5 from Emmanuel. What's going on, bro? Bro gave her a family, security, and commitment, and she still destroyed the family. Pay attention, fellas. Their
Men.
egos mean more than your efforts.
That's funny.
So like Emmanuel, I'm all about, families staying together, especially once they're married and stuff. But the thing is, I understand why she did it. You should read Dr. David Buss's book on the evolutionary psychology. It really breaks down how like women have a certain long-term strategy, bro, where they don't want the alpha, man, because shit like that happens. Like if she chooses too much of an alpha guy, he's going to have too many options. He's going to have too much money to want to go trick off, and like that hurts their family's future in the future. I talk about this all the time on the show. A lot of the girls that come on here would be better off if they chose a beta bucks. It sounds horrible. It sounds horrible. They're gonna have the worst sex life ever a couple years in. But honestly, it's the safest thing for them. And it sounds horrible. I hate saying it, bro. But don't shoot the fucking messenger. This just go read Dr. David Buss's book. Don't shoot the
And
messenger, bro.
it's funny how people can say things and they act like they know the whole story, and they don't have to.
Well, that's why I was
And it's
peeling the
cool.
layers back. I wanted to know how he cheated, like
Yeah.
how it was, because like some people might have
But
an
also,
opinion if they just know you just left because he left.
Yeah,
He cheated.
and it's crazy because I mean, like I said, that was 8 years, and you can imagine what I had to go through and different things. I'm just not gonna put all that out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
he didn't
I
make
gen-
sacrifices for him to be where he is. Right
Yeah,
now,
I mean, I was there before the money. I was there when it wasn't there. So it was a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of loyalty that you think you owe each other, and it's just deep. It's so much stuff, and
It's
if you knew, you'd be like, dang, you should have not did it.
what was he a black guy?
Uh-huh.
So like it's just so hard today because like black men are sought after by everybody.
Yes, and
White girls, Hispanic girls, Asian girls, like
yeah.
your dude's gonna be getting DM'd. Like it's not even him DMing sometimes,
Yeah. And it's exactly what you said. Like we all are. If a woman objective is to find a man that makes a whole lot of money, that's a lot of women's objective. We all going after the same man. So it's almost like there's this expectation that he is gonna cheat. That he is gonna cheat because he.
Well, if he's attractive, because there's some guys who have money who are just losers, though, and y'all can find those guys, and I call them beta bucks, and they're great. Like the guy who makes $500,000 a year, but he's just maybe he has a little bit of a gut, or he's just short, or he's bald, or nerdy, or something. But like that guy's a good bet for your future. Like if you had to bet on your future, he's a good bet.
A better bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's a safer bet. Okay.
Emmanuel must have cheated on his wife or something.
Emmanuel, I have 8 years. You destroyed 8 years. He's never gonna let it go now. So like I wanted to peel another layer back though. Like on the attachment styles and like our parents and stuff like this. I want to know, do you think that like you have free will, or like would you say like you have free will?
Where should you go? I'm thinking.
It depends on what sense you're talking about. You talking about in general, like
yeah, like in the Bible, like it says that like you have free will, like you can sin or you cannot sin. It's up. Every day you have a choice to choose good or bad.
But okay, you were shining to the family though. What did you say in the beginning? You said you said something.
Well, like because it all goes back to the parents thing that I'm about to bring up in a second. So it's gonna loop back in a second.
So it's like our parents' influence versus our free will to do stuff, right?
Well, kind of. I just want to know, do you think there's such thing as free will? Because there's people in this world that believe, like usually there's two sides to it. There's determinism and there's free will. I'm a huge fan of determinism. Like I really believe in determinism. Most people believe in free will though, like especially if you're a Christian. Like most people believe like you have the will to choose to to sin, to be a bad person, to be a good person. Like would you say that we live in a world of free will or determinism?
Based off of like I was raised in a Christian background, but I'm not really, I don't really consign to a religion right now. But and I say right now in general, I'm not a flip flopper, but I think that we do have a certain amount of free will, but a lot of our circumstances and the situations that we're in and the ways we deal with them are predetermined by our background and what's happened in our life.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm more of a free will type of person too. I do feel like we have a choice. You can know the right thing to do and still choose to do the wrong thing. And if there's consequences for it, there's consequences for it. So
okay.
I'm more into that.
Yeah, so like for a long time, like I believed in strictly free will. And then like over the last few years I really got like started diving deep into determinism. Like people like Martin Luther King Jr. There was a lot of people that were like really big believers in determinism, and I just started reading more about it, and I was like, okay, this definitely aligns more to me. But I saw it as more of like a yin and yang. Like the world is like I feel like I saw free will as like darkness. Like a lot of people can move in darkness and can do their own free will, but then you can also move in God's light and into the deterministic path that He wants for you, which is just following what the Bible says and stuff like that. So I kind of see it as like a balance. But now, shout out to Jesse Lee. I think is that or Jesse Peterson or whatever his name is. He's a pastor that has a YouTube channel. He did a really good debate with this guy Zerka and about because he's a Catholic that believed in free will, and he was like, well, if free will is real, then can't you just will your way out of anything? Like if free will is true, then you should be able to just will your way out of doing the best. Because like that guy Zerka, he does coke all the time and fucks a bunch of models, but he's a strong Christian. It's like, well, how can you be such a Christian when you're doing cocaine and fucking all these models? And he's like, well, because free will, man, it sucks. Like I just gotta repent all the time. It's like, no, like you can free if you believe in free will, you can will your way out of doing those things. And so like really, we actually don't have free will. We're all on a deterministic path. It's because the environment is our destiny, like how we're raised, like who all those things about what we went through is going to make us directly do these things. Like Satan is constantly influencing us, or the darkness is constantly influencing us into different routes, and we think that we have free will over it, but we don't, because because it's Satan that is just literally just controlling our every move because of our environments that we were raised in or whatever it is. And it all goes back to forgiveness. And who do you think that we have to forgive to get out of these type of paths? These paths where that are darkness paths. Think about it.
I mean, our parents and ourselves.
Yeah. Exactly. It all goes back to forgiving your parents and yourself, and your attachment style is also directly tied to this forgiveness of your parents and yourself. But it's like it was so mind-blowing to me to like see how determinism was like this, but then also realizes that everybody's trauma that we're all going through all goes back to our parents and us forgiving them, even though they may never like forgive us, or they may never truly understand it or anything, or be sorry,
or
yes,
even realize that they did anything wrong.
Exactly.
Narcissists, sociopaths,
yeah, but
psychopaths in some cases.
it was crazy though, because when you truly figure that out, you realize it's easier to live in the light, or like live in the goodness of yourself more than ever, because you're not sitting there living through their path of that shitty darkness. I just thought that was such like an eye-awakening moment for me, because I've always been, and he also argued against Trinitarianism, and I'm a Trinitarian. Like I really believe in the Trinity, and that was breaking my heart because I believe in the Trinity a lot. Do y'all believe in the Trinity? Do you know what that is? The Trinity is just that God, like God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit are all one. Like it's all like the same thing. But then like some people who are against like the Trinity will be like, so God could poop because Jesus was pooping, and it's just like, I mean, it's not. Yeah,
it's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, no. I want to know also, like, when it comes to like your siblings, how many siblings did each of you all have?
I have 3.
3. How many did you have?
I also have 3.
And what are they? Like
mine are all boys.
All boys.
I'm the only girl.
I have 2 sisters and a brother.
2 sisters and a brother. And how much do you think that affected you?
Too much.
Like, what are you like? How do you think it like really affected you though the most though? Like, how old are all they too?
My oldest brother, I want to say, is 34. My other brother's 33. I'm 29, and then I have my little brother's 26.
Y'all been friends for years?
Yeah.
Did she ever try to hit on one of your brothers?
No, they were too busy making fun of her. But they made fun of everybody. Like, if you came to my house, you better have thick skin, because they were gonna talk about you.
Yeah.
That's the only way to acknowledge you. It's either they were gonna make fun of you or not acknowledge you. So
So like, do you think it was really good having them in your life? Like a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I think it did a little bit of damage on both sides. Like, well, I think it was good and bad. Because because I didn't have the type of relationship with my parents where they saw my parents being super affectionate to me, I don't think that they got the concept that they were supposed to be nice and loving to their sister and protect her, and all that. That's not. It's like they knew if I ever got into trouble to do something for me, but as far as the affection and stuff goes, it really wasn't that. My brother was actually really, like, 2 of them was like really disrespectful to me and would cuss me out and call me all kind of names and stuff. And then but there's love there now, and I think it's a good thing now. But that's why I say it's good and bad, because I was only girl, I got treated like one of the boys. So I'm getting into fights with them, all kind of stuff.
So I was the opposite. Yeah, I had 4 sisters, so it's just like,
oh wow,
yeah, it was horrible.
Well, they picking on you. I hear when it's just sisters and like one brother, you get picked on.
Dude,
so
it
bad.
was bad.
Yeah,
it was fucking bad.
It's almost worse than boys, I think, because boys eventually are gonna be like, stop messing with your sister. But girls, like,
no, it was ruthless, and then my parents took their sides every time, because like, you're the boy, like you should be thick skinned.
Tough,
like
stop,
yeah, no, it was hardcore. But so like your brothers, are any of them struggling in dating right now?
Well, No, I mean, well, probably my little brother. My other brothers, there, one of them is married. The other one is getting married, hopefully next year. And then my little brother, I mean, he got a baby on the way, but I don't really know the girl like that, so I don't know what's going on with that
Well,
situation.
they're not struggling because like so guys in between the ages of 18 and 30, there's like 30% of them are virgins and we're having sex this year. So it's like one third of them
Oh no,
almost.
they all got kids. It's
Yeah,
like between my kids,
they're not any
between
of the
my
ones in
two
that
and
one.
my brothers, we got like 10 kids.
There's another stat that just came out recently, and it was like 18 to 21. I can't remember what it was. It was a very young age of group of guys, like 18 21 or 18 22 or something like that, and it was like 50% are still
I can
virgins.
believe that. I can
That's
believe that.
fucking
I
crazy
can believe that.
though.
Because can you imagine, like, we had egos and stuff when we were younger, and our makeup was trash, like hair. When you look at our style back then and now,
Yeah,
like
but
these
even the clothes.
14, 15-year-old girls are looking 19, 20, and the better they're looking, I'm sure the guys gotta look the same. And if you don't, then you won't get that attention. And like guys, just it's harder for y'all. Y'all have to be the person to approach us, and if y'all don't look a certain part, you're not going to because you don't want to get turned down. And so I think it gets harder. I mean, it's hard for men to date, let alone I can imagine how it is in middle school, high school. Oh man, oh
Are,
babies.
I didn't date in middle or high school, so
what about your two sisters and your brother? Like, would you say that they were a big part of your life? Good, bad?
yes. And well, my sister, they're twice my age, basically. All
All
of
of
my
them?
siblings. I'm the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I never really knew my brother like that. He was put up for adoption before I was born, so we found him later on in life. And my sisters are twins, so they've always been really close. I was adopted by one of my sisters, so played a big part in my life. Yes.
One of your twin sisters was your adopted parent?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's dope, actually. I feel like because you, like, she was so much older than you that she could do that.
Yeah.
How old was she?
I guess so. Yeah. She was 20 when she adopted me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to keep you in the family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
better than you going off to a home or
And
something
who
like that.
knows
Yeah.
where?
Sure. Sometimes I question,
If
whether
it,
or not it would have been better if I had just stayed in the system. But
No, she had a tough life though. She
yeah,
did.
it
Because I
wasn't
think
fun.
when you're
I also am the only black sibling. Yeah, everybody else is fully white. So
oh,
yeah,
yeah, that would be kind
well,
of sour.
that and it just seemed like because I was around, and I got to see her being around and her interaction. It's almost like when it came to her, she was treated differently than her sister's children. And I think that's just a natural thing. It's not everybody can, even if they can take on the responsibility of a child, not everybody can love their child as if it was theirs. That's something that kind of happens, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes like I'm taking care
How
of
old
you.
were your sister's kids?
They were little.
they were born whenever I was younger. Now they're what? One's 20,
So
and
so
the other
you
is
were like having to
19.
babysit and do all that shit,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
they were your little
Yeah.
siblings.
yeah.
That sounds
And she
pretty
got
shitty
treated
then.
differently. Like the boy, like her kids got treated better, kind of.
And like, did they have good like husbands or like the dads of those kids? Were they like, was it a good household because she had like two parent household, or were they
It was a
like?
2-parent household. I don't know if that made it a good household, but there was
There was two.
both
Yeah.
parents there.
That's actually a good thing to talk about. Do y'all believe staying together for the kids is the right thing or the wrong thing?
It depends on the situation.
Really depends on the
Yeah.
situation. So
Yeah,
what's too
if you can
far?
have a healthy relationship and you can be platonic in the same household for the children, if that's the excuse you're going to use, then that's cool. But if you're staying in a toxic situation or a violent or unhealthy situation, that's ultimately your children are seeing and taking in, then I don't think that that's a healthy. I don't think that's a healthy way to look at it or a good excuse to use to stay in a situation that is potentially harmful to not only you but your kids as well.
Yeah. What do you think about staying together?
I feel like I mean, I know that there's such things as arranged marriages, and at that point it's not about love or anything like that. It's just kind of, an obligation.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're two people that chose to get married, you did that for a reason. You did it because you loved each other or you saw something, this and that. And I think that should always be the goal to get back to. I mean, if you want a marriage that's gonna stay, you kind of got to keep getting back to not. I mean, it's never gonna be the same as it was in the beginning, but you need to try to get back to a point where, okay, we love each other, we can stand each other, let's date each other, let's this, still be connected. And so I think that should always be the reason. I don't think it should be just the children, because the children are going to go off. They're going to get married, and that child is, whether it's a 30-year-old or 35-year-old man or a 5-year-old boy, if it happens later on in life, it still hurts. It's still gonna affect them because in their mind, it's like, oh, you guys were great for all these years. Why would you do that? When all along you didn't like each other, you hated each other. So my
I
thing
have
is,
seen that a few times too, actually, and that's
and
kind of
it's
funny.
crazy
I don't
because
feel like you
either
can
way,
be.
you can't avoid that. You either gonna cause that hurt now, and they're gonna grow up with it, or you're gonna cause it later on in life. And nobody wants to see their old, 6-year-old parent sitting here divorced and looking
Yeah.
like what, like.
I don't
And
think you can
That's
be a
I've never
proper.
seen it from that perspective, but that is a good way to look at it. It's like if you don't do it now, you're doing it later.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I
I
don't
mean, you're
think
And
you
it
gonna do
can
looks
it either
be
worse.
a
way.
good parent if you're just unhappy. Like I don't think you can be your best
Yeah, you
self
won't.
as
You
a
won't.
parent if you are
Because you
sitting
can only
here
hide. You
unhappy
can
with
only
your
hide
partner.
those emotions from your children for so long.
So, like, whose fault do you think it is whenever divorce happens? Usually, like, if I told you the percentage, like, what do y'all think it is? Do y'all think it's men or women?
Women divorce men more. For
What do you
sure.
think the percentage is, if you could just guess?
Ooh. Someone told me this. They're gonna be mad if I don't remember. I think it's like, I think it's high as like 70 or 80 or something, or
What do you think
60,
it is?
60 to 80. One of them.
I don't know.
No idea. You're very close. It's 70%. It goes
Yeah,
up to
it's high.
90% if college educated. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
believe it.
but like
They don't stay.
in the red pill space, like one of the big pushbacks against that like quote or like that stat is, well, like if she's being beat or if he's cheating on
It's
her,
not always
like
that.
she's always going to be the
It's
one
not.
that's like leaving. So
Most of the time when they're getting beaten,
They
they're
stay.
staying.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
They're
stay.
staying.
they're
For
trauma
Sorry.
real.
bonded.
Yeah,
No,
they'll stay
literally.
until they die.
When
Like
you are
some.
when
Yeah.
you are when people are like real life in year-long relationships where they're constantly getting beaten, that is a mental thing on their end, and they don't feel like they deserve anything more.
Yeah,
And
and
they
that's part of the reason why they
legitimately
don't
will
leave.
stay.
Yep.
It's a self-esteem issue.
When a woman feels like she
Or
don't deserve better,
past-
she will not get it. I'm
like
telling
if
you.
you've never seen different, if you grew up and your dad was beating on your mom all the time, or every
Yeah, you
boyfriend
think
she
that's
had
part. You
was
think that's
beating
normal.
beating
You
her
think
ass
that's
in
part
front of
of
you,
it.
then you're thinking, yeah, this is love. This,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is what's
Man,
this
that's
is
so
what it's supposed
dangerous.
to be.
So dangerous
Yeah, this
when
is.
you make up your own.
Oh,
Like
he
this is
loves
love.
me.
Yeah.
He's hitting me when I try to leave. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's fighting me
yeah,
for me.
he's fighting. Yeah, he's
He's
fighting
fighting
for
for
this.
me.
Yeah, he's
me
fighting for this.
this.
Like, no, bitch, he's
He's
fighting
doing
you.
whatever it takes for
He
you
is
not to leave.
fighting you, bitch.
Yeah, but you
not
have to
for
fight
you.
for me now. Hold on. You got this mixed up. No.
So like whenever things do get that way, why do you think guys do that? Like just
Oh,
even from just talking to your friends or whatever,
Anger
like
issues and control.
anger issues.
and they
Men
have a
really
bad
want to
and
be
they
in
have a
control.
bad relationship with women too. You gotta have
Oh
a
yeah,
bad
if they
relationship with
hate their
women.
mom, that's
Yeah,
They
key.
haven't
you
forgiven their
always hear
mother
stuff
yet.
like that.
That's
Yeah, when
key.
they have bad mother issues and stuff, that's why when I hear a man love his mama and he talking about, I'm like, okay, cool.
And do
Yeah.
you think there's a difference between, because like you see these videos on World Star sometimes, like where a dude is literally beating the living fuck out of his girl, like it'll be like she somehow gets him on camera and he's just like full fist, just blah blah blah. Like, do you think there's a huge difference between like those guys and like a guy that like his girl is screaming in his fucking face or like pushing him, and then he's pushed to the point where he's just like he pushes her really hard off of him, or he
But
like
you know
slaps her
what?
and says, "Shut the fuck up! Like, get the fuck away from
But you
me."
know what's crazy is that does happen, but most of the time it be like the most innocent looking women that don't fight at all. They so sweet. They be the ones getting beat up. I feel like the ones that have that rah rah attitude and stuff, those be the ones that the men be like, all right, let me leave before I beat it. Because they close, but they'll stop themselves. Now, not all of them. Some will go ahead and do it. But I feel like you more so see it from a woman who ain't fighting at all. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got no fight in her. And then he's doing that. And so it's like,
That's because they're predators
Because
as well.
because they're scared of the
seek
woman
out-
that's going to like
Yeah.
stand up to them.
They seek
yeah,
out the
because if the
women
woman
that they can
challenges them,
see.
they going to get mad and upset, but they going to go home and beat her ass, not
Mhm.
her. They ain't going to say nothing to her.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, really, the ones that rah, nah, the dudes be running from them, like, or be like,
I'm not. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we always talk about on the show that guys don't like a masculine woman, and like
right.
any woman that would be like that
The
would be
toxic ones
considered a
do.
type of.
Toxic ones love that.
You
I'm
think
telling
toxic
you,
dudes do?
toxic dudes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You buck up to me like you about to whoop my ass. We might fight.
Yeah,
In
you
real life.
got break his nose.
I'm a for sure defend
Nah,
myself.
I don't fight no more, y'all.
Absolutely.
I don't fight no. Nah,
I've never put my hands on anyone of my own volition.
Whenever
I've only done so to defend myself. I
Well-
don't do that shit at all.
Y'all don't believe in fighting.
I don't play that.
Y'all stronger than us.
would y'all say that like what's more important to a guy in the relationship? Do you think that like he really cares about you loving him or respecting him more?
Respect.
Respect.
Man.
Absolutely.
Dudes don't even. I ain't heard a man since I've been dating. I
just
ain't heard
wanna
a
be
man.
loved.
Ain't never heard it. They'll never talk about love. Like that's something that I guess they feel like it'll just come,
It'll
and when
come.
it will.
Yeah.
That's right. Like it'll
Mhm.
come. But dudes don't. They just want you to talk to them right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's simple. It's so simple,
And what do you
really.
think women is? Is it respect or love? You think it's respect also?
Nah,
We
we want
want
well,
love.
people want love,
You
but
want
but
love,
see, I'm big on respect
I want
too.
to be respected as well. Yeah,
Like
for sure.
but
I do want
but you
love.
need somebody loving
But
you.
I think that
Yeah.
respect is and love are mutually
Kind of, yeah.
they're mutually exclusive. I feel
Yeah.
like if you really love somebody, respect comes with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, like I think respect goes through labor sometimes, and then that labor it's a labor of love, kind of. What? So you were saying that, like, like the shit. What was it? So like the what was I about to say? So no, so so do you think that you need to no, what was I gonna ask? What about for like your or no? This is what I was gonna ask. Do you even think that y'all are capable of love
For sure.
for sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for a man.
Yeah. No,
Absolutely.
I love men, and honestly, I talk to a lot of men on the daily, like not like that, y'all. But like I mean, I have like philosophical conversations with men that I talk to. Even if a dude's like trying to talk to me, we get into these philosophical conversations because I like to hear from a man's point of view, because it is different, and I know that I can live in a fantasy sometimes and not be
See, but that's
realistic.
just like that's wanting to understand a man, but that's not loving. So like, do you think that y'all can unconditionally love a man?
Women aren't bred to unconditionally love y'all. Honestly, we not. That's you don't
What
hear
do you unconditionally love?
most people say will say their children.
And and pets.
Women will give
Women will
children and
give.
pets, but men no. And I agree with you. Like they
Yeah,
don't. We
yeah,
don't
Well,
love men unconditionally. We may have in the past. We might do that when we're younger and
yeah.
stuff, and it
I'm like,
doesn't
well,
matter.
No,
But
I be
it comes with
stupidly
conditions.
unconditionally loving these niggas.
You think so?
then you would have one because you wouldn't be getting rid of them like you do if you did.
I don't
Yeah,
get
no, for
Yeah,
rid.
real.
I
because
don't
if it's
get rid.
unconditional, you
I
wouldn't
don't
be
get
getting rid
rid
of
of
them like
these
that.
niggas.
They get rid of you.
Unfortunately,
Oh well, I move on. You know what I'm saying? I
you
don't.
know, I don't be getting rid of nobody because I don't be fucking with nobody like
But like so, but I truly think that like she was on point though. Women really don't unconditionally
Not
love,
Yeah, no, I
like,
don't think that.
and it's because you're not
Yeah,
built
no,
to like.
no,
absolutely
we're
not.
not.
Who gets over breakups faster? Women. Like,
Mhm.
and there's a whole thing. It's called the war bride. It's called the war bride hypothesis. So like back in the day, tens thousands of years ago, whenever like Genghis Khan like went through and killed a whole village, a woman. It was more better for y'all to get over the fact that you just watched your husband get murdered in front of you in your hut, and just go off with that warrior that just killed him.
Oh wow,
It's better to do that than die.
that's crazy.
And so like y'all are very good at getting over things very quickly, and men are
Well,
very like disposable. We've
Well, you
always
want to
been
know why? You
disposable.
want to know why? Because women have, and I talk to men about this all the time, but women have basically we've told each other, like, hey, no matter what you look like, no matter what size you are, no matter, this or that, a man, somebody will still
There's
do it.
always another
Somebody,
man.
there's going to be a man to take care of you. That's somebody going to love all of that,
Yep.
da, da, da. We tell each other that, and that's not reality because obviously you'd see if it was, more men would be marrying us, but a lot of women have never even
Y'all's
been
girlfriends
married.
are lying to y'all,
Right?
huh?
No, for real.
Yeah.
Because and not to say that it can't happen, but the
Yeah.
likelihood. Let's
So,
be likely. It's not.
so the older women sabotage the younger women because they
Yeah,
don't
they do.
want them to take their men.
Yeah,
Like, so it's very smart. If you're an older woman, it's
but you.
better to tell those younger women a bunch of bad
Yeah,
advice to make sure that they don't take those 30-year-old
yeah.
guys that you're trying to date at the time.
But it's crazy because you can't stop them. They're gonna keep doing like an older guy isn't gonna look for an older woman. He gonna go down
Down, yeah,
regardless. He's
yeah.
gonna go down in age. Just so there's no way to preventing it, and that's why you see the older ladies getting with the younger men
Hmm.
because when you're young, you don't know no better. You got mommy issues or something. You want a woman taking care of you. But yeah, no, dudes, but women, like I said, we're not trained for that. We're told we tell each other different things, which is crazy. That's why I like listening to men because they're gonna tell me what's real, what they want, what they don't, and it's not a woman putting these unrealistic ideas in my head because they are like me for, and I'm gonna be this is me being 100% real. I'm a divorced woman with two children. There's a benefit because at least my children came from marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And men respect that. Even if, it's 2 kids, it's 2 kids. But the fact that I was married before, a man can respect that. But a woman who's having multiple children by multiple men, she's lowering her chances of finding someone, because most dudes like, how many baby daddies? Nah, I ain't trying to deal with that.
I already don't want to be stepdaddy, much less to 2 different baby daddies.
So it's not realistic what we tell ourselves and how we like. Sometimes you just got to be real. And that's why I think I like listening to men, because they're not saying they want the BBLs or the, getting your body done and all. They're not saying that. They're just saying like they want you to be realistic. Like if you work this little, if you work at this low paying job, don't have no expectations that I gotta have 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Date within your realm.
And which most people have always done that. Most people have always dated within their actual class and bracket. Like it's actually kind of rare for people to go up and down sometimes.
But I think some people, their expectation though is beyond.
Oh yeah,
theirs.
because of the internet, because
they
of
probably
social
won't
media.
Date these other things because they can't get it. But in their mind, they're literally not dating in their where they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So they're preventing themselves.
We always say that, like, a girl that's like a 5 can fuck a guy that's a 9, and then if you think you're a 9 because you fucked a guy that was a 9, then your standards are way up here. Yeah. And then you can never settle for anything less.
Yeah.
Some I'm trying to think of what you just said that was really based. It was really good. I was gonna note on it. But yeah, I could definitely tell you were raised by a brother, or like you had a lot of brothers around you, because you understand that it is good to listen to a man's side. And like there's it's really crazy today because nobody wants to listen to anything from men right now, and a guy gets canceled if we tell the truth.
Yeah,
like
we don't want people don't like the truth.
Yeah,
men or women, like some people just don't want to hear the truth.
Have you heard of like the red pill space online? Have you watched Fresh and Fit? Have you seen any of these shows that like bring up intersexual dynamics and stuff?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Oh, it's just like you would see it in probably shorts and stuff, but it's usually really triggering videos that say women should be doing this or men should be doing that, and it really triggers a lot of people. But it sounds like you're already like living in that life, and it wouldn't even affect you because you just agree with it all.
I do, and it's not me trying to be like a pick me type of woman. It's really me just sitting back and being like, dang, it's not just about me. I'm gonna tell you this, and I tell everybody before I got my divorce, I was green, and I naively thought like, oh, there's somebody that will love me regardless of my 2 kids and da da da. And I just thought it wasn't gonna be that hard to find. I really didn't. But mind you, I hadn't dated in 8 years. I didn't know what dating looked like. But reality hit me once I did start dating and stuff, and I'm like, okay, guys are talking to me even though I have children. Like that don't seem to be a problem at all. But
they only want sex.
And they only wanted sex, or like they would kind of just want me to, just to go out and stuff. Because men like going on dates with me. They like having, because I'm fun. Like I do stuff. But the sex was the thing that was holding them. And so one time I researched, I was literally looking up like how do men see like single mothers and stuff, because I had no idea. And when I was looking at these videos and I was reading these comments, I was like, man, they're like, oh, just hit it and quit it. Don't be serious. Don't take them serious. And then there were guys who had done it before, and they're like, oh, I'd never do that again. And I'm telling you, cried. I really did, because it was an eye opener. Like I didn't think that. I didn't think that men thought that way. I only thought like, oh, I'm hearing other women, I'm seeing examples of other women that have done it, and not realizing that they're the few, that happens. It's not guaranteed.
Or they might just be lying. They're just talking out their ass too, to make everybody copes really hard with being like single and trying to say they're happy when they're really not sometimes. And you'll flex all the time and be like, oh yeah, I'm living the life. This is so good. I get whatever guy I want. I'm 30 and I can fuck 21-year-old men all the time. I'm a badass,
Like,
or I'm city girl for life. And it's just
like a 20-year-old fucks anything. Like at that point, like,
But like some of them brag about that as if they're like men doing the same thing. And it's just like, I don't think people...
it's not the same. My friend tells me all the time, he was like, dang, what did he say? It's not this. It's basically what you said. It's not the same for us. It's not.
Men and women are not the same.
Yeah.
Absolutely, completely opposites in almost everything. It's really cool, actually, when you start peeling the layers back.
It doesn't benefit a woman to be promiscuous. It really don't.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Like I always talk about this. Like it is bad for marriage. Like your happiness in marriage goes down to 50% for both sexes after 20 bodies. But like it's really just damaging. Like it's really damaging to the woman because of trauma, and like the more bodies a woman usually has, it just signifies usually more trauma. Or why did none of those guys in the past want to lock you down? Like, or it just that's what looks bad to it. Or you don't want to go to a political event as a guy, and then all the other guys see you with your girl, and like they're all whispering and like, oh yeah, she had a train ran on her in college. It's like he doesn't even know. It's like we're really embarrassed by shit like that. Like that's our name and our legacy, and everything about us goes down to that. It's a huge
Yeah,
deal.
and see, women don't. I don't think people think about that. It's like we're young, we can do what we want, but then, dudes don't. You can have a reputation, but who knows about it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's important to y'all. And I tell people, I tell my women friends, it's like men pay so much more attention to us than we do them. Like
Mhm.
it's not like I know some women have this long checklist of what they want from a man, but they'll settle for, we get two things off that list. We're like, okay, cool. Whereas men, like y'all know, like y'all can look at a woman based on how she looks, her genetics. Y'all ask questions about family and stuff, and it's like, hold on, wait, what? Yeah, my daddy got high blood pressure. Like, it's like what?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
y'all pay way more attention to picking. Like, yeah, y'all might sleep with anything, but marry, nah. Like,
Oh,
y'all
dude,
pay
it's
too
so
much attention
crazy.
to
Yeah.
stuff. Whereas women, it's not the same. We make up this stuff like, oh, we gotta look out for this, that. But once y'all got us, y'all got us. You know what I'm saying? We all that stuff go out the window, and
Mhm.
you settling almost like,
Yep.
just be
Almost.
real.
No, we be really
Lie
settling.
for real though.
We will,
Settle.
like she said, have a list of 20 things that we really want out of a
And you
man,
get a few of
and
them.
he'll give you 1.5, and
Well,
you're
yeah,
like, hell yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
the it's
this
like
is the one.
it's like I said though. Like when you find a good beta bucks, it's the safest thing for you. And y'all can find a guy with 18 of those things, but if he's not settling down, he's just a short term mating strategy. He's just a short term fun night. It's like we can accept that women like to have sex for fun too.
Right.
And there's a certain look of the guy and stuff that makes it to where it's gonna be the best kind of sex. It's gonna be the funnest. It's gonna be the most orgasmic or whatever it is, you know. And a lot of guys don't want to accept that y'all have that short term strategy.
Yeah.
That's like, and that's what makes it like a lot of these guys are really insecure or they don't want to be with a girl with a high body count. Because it's like my big thing that I talk about all the time on the show is that we have two completely different long term strategies. Like me and my girlfriend's relationship, like how like we first had sex, like how it all works and stuff. It's the opposite of what y'all should be doing because like she had to have sex with me very quickly on the first night. Like she had to provide value in my life to prove that she was better than the other girls. But that's only for like that's only on a guy's strategy for me to make sure that I don't end up with a girl that takes advantage of me. For y'all to make sure y'all don't end up with a guy who takes
Yeah, we
advantage
have to
of
wait.
you and
We
runs
have to
away.
go
You
slower.
need the beta bucks guy. You need the guy that's going to take care of you no matter what, and he's not going to run away because he has no options to run away.
Yeah.
And like, and the only guy that has no options to run away is the ugly bald guy, you know, or like the weird dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you though, because you have kids and stuff. Do you expect like if a guy comes in, to into your life and your kid's life for both of y'all? Do you think he's allowed to have equal responsibility as you over the children?
That would come with like marriage, like, and even when you say equal, no, because they have a father.
So it'll never be equal, yeah.
Yeah. So that would just be him becoming a stepfather, in which case I'm assuming we'd be in the same household, so there would be a certain amount of responsibility that came with that, but there's a thin line.
Okay. How?
So
Well, I guess I should change the word. How much authority does he have in the?
oh
Let me put it that way.
Mm.
50. Like, is it 50-50 then?
If he's my husband and he's taking care of me and my child, then I mean, yeah, most decisions will be 50-50,
Most
even
is,
if it's pertaining to my kid.
if he has the authority. What do you
Mhm.
think?
um I mean, if we're trying to do percentage, I mean, I guess we could say 50-50, but I don't know if that's true. Like, I kind of want to say less, but I only say that because, my situation is my ex is in my kid's life, and I can't. I mean, when we're at each other's homes, we can discipline how we see fit. But again, it's still a conversation
It's
that
more
needs to
like a
be had.
45-55.
Right. So it's
You
kind of
definitely have more authority
right. And
because they're your kids.
Yeah.
right. So but I mean I do feel like you said, if it's my husband and stuff and he feels some type of way, he can definitely voice that to me or to the job, because I do feel that I don't want anyone that I get with for my kids to think that, oh, this is just a person I can walk over. You're not my
Mhm.
real, like, no, you're
See,
gonna
It's a
have to
matter
show
of
respect
respect.
well,
Yeah.
regardless.
Uh-huh.
that's good, but like so like sometimes though, how it usually works is that he doesn't have a lot of authority. Like usually, it's like don't yell at my kids. Like don't. So usually it's like very the opposite of what we're saying right now.
But I think that depends on the person. Like,
Yeah,
you
it
Right.
really
gotta,
depends
it
on the
depends on
girl.
the
Yeah.
person, because if you're a reasonable dude and you don't sit here and you don't have those type of temper issues and stuff, I'm not gonna be too worried about it happening. And if it does, then okay, you really was pushed to your limit, because you don't do that all the time.
Yeah.
But a person that's always doing this stuff, like, I'm not gonna. I probably wouldn't choose that person because I
Yeah.
know it's gonna happen, and when it do, I'm gonna feel some type of way, and so it's like I'm not
Yeah,
gonna be.
it also depends on parenting styles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There are men like if you're coming in without your own kids, this can be a new experience. You know what I'm saying? And if you aren't familiar with parenting or you don't quite know what your parenting style is yet, there's trial and error. But if you're just like if what I'm seeing that you're displaying with my kid is not something that I want to regularly happen, yeah, you're not even going to be an option.
Yeah.
Period. Like if you're the type that's going to yell at her all the time, no.
Yeah.
that's not going to be okay with me, because at a certain point, okay.
It gets to sometimes it gets really dangerous because like these guys who usually come into these situations, they're usually expected to provide, to be responsible over certain things in the house, to pay for certain things, or to be the man, and sometimes they don't have the authority that they should get with that, and like responsibility without authority is just slavery.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of stepfathers though, they end up in certain situations where they have all this responsibility but zero or very little authority over what goes on,
and they start hating their stepkids, and in turn they start resenting their wife, and it leads to divorce a lot of the time.
Yeah, so that actually brings up another really good thing. So a lot of guys right now, I can see this happening because so many people are switching to Islam. There's so many people watching Fresh and Fit and shit. They all are trying to do like the I want multiple wives thing.
Polyamory.
Yeah. They but the open on my end, closed on her end type of thing. And so they all want that. Now, do you think that in certain situations, like say like a guy who has a baby mama, and he really wants to be with her, but he just can't stop himself from wanting to be with other women, but he really loves her. He wants to be there for the child. He wants to be there with the woman all the time, but he can't stop himself. Do you think that there's going to be more people that are going to be choosing this, and instead of her going and getting a new guy to protect the child, she's going to stay with the father and then let him go and still make another family with another woman too, if he's high value enough? We're not going to say a broke guy can do this type of stuff because he has to provide the same life for both women.
I think there are plenty of people who are doing that right now. They just don't televise it like you see on Instagram and stuff. I think that
Especially Islam.
I think that there are a
people.
lot of people who, even in just regular communities, have gotten to this point where they're in their head. They're like, oh well, there's a lot of places who will say men are not hardwired, which we've discussed it last time I was.
What
on
do you
the
think is safer
podcast.
for
Men
the
are
kid?
not hardwired to be safer. I think that's all
Safer for the kid.
circumstantial.
I want to know, what do you think is safer for the kid?
I
would
think
say
that's
the
all
dad.
circumstantial.
For me, I have 2 daughters, so I'm gonna say the daddy. But
Yeah.
I mean, because I would trust him with my daughters more than a random person.
Yeah,
Right.
if we look at the stats and we look at like child abuse and we look at even rape and like sexual assault and stuff like that, we're talking about huge increases in step parent homes. Massive, like 70, 80% increases.
Yeah,
And
that's always been going on.
Yeah, but that's the reason why I think historically, like with Islam, just with all like how it's always been, where like one guy with multiple women and stuff, I think it's always been better for the woman to accept that he goes and he makes another, if he's that guy, like if he makes enough money to be able to do it and provide for both of y'all. I think it's just healthier for the family. It's healthier for the kid. It's less likely for anything bad to happen, especially if they're daughters or something. I just think it's safer.
I
Like
100% respect that lifestyle.
and
Like,
because and think about
makes
how many
sense.
friends you might know, or how many people who grew up and something happened because of a step parent, whether it was the step parent's family, the brothers or the step brothers or sisters, or the step cousins or something. There's always so many bad things that end up happening sometimes through a step. And so I disagree with it. I'm once again, I'm not condoning these type of things, but I fucking understand it really well. I wanted to ask actually really quick. Well, no, actually, let me read this question by my boy J Bow. What's up, bro? Question: why the 2 ladies don't have a man? Why don't you got a man?
I've been read that.
Oh yeah.
I had it.
It's not that I'm like, okay, so I'm not in an official relationship, but it's not like I haven't been dating, and I mean, I definitely date, but at the same time, I do want more than what people try to offer me. Again, people want to go out and have fun and this and that, and that's cool sometimes, but not all the times. And honestly, too, a part of it is I'm not in this position right now where I want to be serious. Not yet. It's some things I got to work on. Getting a divorce and everything, having to rebuild a lot of that stuff on my own. It's taking time, and so I'm not in a rush. When I feel like I get in a better position, then I'll be like, okay, I'm open to dating more.
Did you at least take a bag from that man?
I mean, I got some money. Look, I got some money. Don't play with me now.
Yeah.
But
No, if there's anything that I'm gonna tell my daughter, because I have a 3-year-old, and like whenever she's older one day and like she's dating and stuff, the one thing I'm going to tell her is like, just get the fucking ring. Like all I care or like all she should care about is like don't like all guys can cheat. Like all guys can cheat. The broke guy can and the rich guy
no,
can.
yeah, for real.
So it's like if you're gonna cry, you might as well cry in the Bentley. Like don't get caught crying in that Honda. So and if so, get the fucking ring. And then if he does that and you're uncomfortable with it, or you don't like it, you have an option. You can do something about it. You can leave him. You can take some money, or you can make a decision at least after at that point. But y'all really have no leverage until you get the ring. Like you have none. He has all the leverage until he gives you the ring. And I think that's the one time. Like I actually think a lot of guys are scared to get married today because of that power dynamic that automatically shifts.
Yeah, we talked about that when I was here last time.
Yeah. Most guys are never going to get married right now because
we now are more of a burden than a blessing when it comes to getting married.
Yeah.
So.
I want to ask really quick. Do y'all think that like you yourselves are very traditional women? Like when it comes to like help like doing all the traditional stuff. Like would you consider yourself traditional?
I am.
You are
for sure.
What do you think?
I'm very much a hybrid.
A hybrid?
Yeah, I do. I'm very traditional as far as how I treat the men in my life. I'm a cook. I'm a clean. I'm a do what I need to do. But I also am newer in school as far as like my expectations when it comes to like respect. I guess like I expect to be respected, and especially in this day and age when 9 times out of 10 I'm also going to have to be working and all that stuff on top of cleaning and cooking and all that good stuff. I'm willing to work my ass off for not only myself and my kid but also my man, but I do also expect my man to not just be a stereotypical come home and go to sleep kind of guy.
No.
Yeah.
What do y'all think a green flag in a guy is? Like the most important, like say 2 or 3. Like the most important. I'm gonna give y'all a really good tip afterwards if y'all don't say it.
Most important.
I think humility is a big one.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it's honesty for me.
Honesty?
Yeah.
And
but like when guys lie like crazy the other day, how do you know when they're being honest?
I feel like when a person isn't worried about what'll happen when they say it, it's like they're being honest, because if you're worried about it, then that's what's gonna make you lie, but if you say it and it's like, hey, this is some hurtful shit, or it's something like that, if you can still tell me that, it's like, okay, you wouldn't just be telling me this to hurt my feelings. I would think, like I would think that this is definitely something that you're being honest about. But if you can't say it or you beating around, like, it's just like, okay, you don't want to say it, but and most people are lie because of that.
So I'm gonna give y'all like a little game that honestly, like what y'all said was good things, but those are just kind of traits about people. But like the real thing that you really need to ask for and look for like very early on is ask about their 401k, their IRA, and their HSA, like how are the savings accounts, because that shows that they're looking 20 years in the future, 30 years in the future. Most people are living in the moment right now. And I think that that's how you can filter between somebody that's like a good person and a bad person really quickly. Because like people that are living in the moment, they just don't have any of their shit together. Like they don't like if you ask them if they're matching their 401k at their job, they're gonna be like, what? What's that? And it's just like those are the type of people that I would be super worried about. And I think that a lot of people today just end up with people who have short-minded thoughts and short-minded actions, and they wonder, why is this person so short-minded, or like why do they have such short-sighted thoughts? And it's just like, oh well, do they look to the future for anything? Like, do they try to like do anything like that? I don't know. For me, it's very easy to notice, but I feel like a lot of women don't ask those questions at all, like at all. What was this one?
And to answer that question, I don't.
Oh yeah, you
I'm
didn't
single because I actually don't really date. Like, if I gave more people an opportunity, I wouldn't be single. But
you're not celibate. Are you celibate?
No, I'm in a very toxic situationship.
So there's
Who
sex being had. Okay.
Who makes
There's
it
definitely
toxic?
sex being had, but that's about it.
Who makes it toxic?
Both of us probably.
No,
Yeah.
it's you.
Nah, it's both of
He's
us.
being probably straight up like this is it, and then you're going crazy because that's how it is.
I don't know
That
about
do be
crazy.
happening.
I don't know
That
about
does happen. That does
crazy,
happen.
but
Some
like,
guys are really honest about
Yeah.
like being manhoes,
I
and
know.
they
Still
don't even
choose
play
'em.
games with you.
I don't know
Yeah.
about
And
crazy,
you'll
but
still
this has been going on for years.
That's
So
fine.
it's just like at this point, it's like we
Let it
fuck when we
go.
fuck,
You're
and we
you're
don't
just
when we don't.
you're digmatized, as I say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the
I
digmatation.
just
Yeah, not me.
enjoy. I wouldn't say digmatized. I enjoy good sex, and I'm not willing to give that up until I find something to replace it.
Yeah, no, I totally understand it,
Yeah.
but what we got to remember is like we're biting from the tree of knowledge here. Like this is why like when Eve went and ate from the tree of knowledge and you ate the fruit, once you have that guy who's that high, that type of stick game or that type of vibe or whatever it is, you can't replace it.
Yeah,
Like
you can't.
once
You
you
can't.
have bitten from that tree of knowledge and
true.
You'll run your
you've
body count up
experienced it.
There's
trying
no
to get that, and you won't.
replacing it,
Yeah.
but something that will suffice.
No,
Because
I
it's
That's
not.
promise.
not for me.
No,
It's
no,
not about that anymore.
I can tell you that studies prove that it doesn't because what happens is even say like you find a guy who suffices, it's not gonna last. It's only a year,
Yeah.
2, 3
Yeah.
before you're tired of it or you're pissed off, you're annoyed, like where
Yeah.
you
I
will.
told myself I had to start a whole new standard because I had a similar situation. No, for real, I had
No,
a
I
similar
already know.
situation, and I had to get away from that. And in the beginning, it was about replacing it, and then I realized soon after, like I can't.
I'm not looking for
It's not
anything
gonna
to
be
compare to
replacing.
it.
But we do. We
But
choose. We
but
compare. It's
but
hard not to.
me, I mean, you're gonna
You,
compare.
you can say that you don't, but it's just like I
I'm
said,
not
the
looking for
statistics
anything to
show.
Yes,
compare
and
to it.
I agree with that.
It's more so like once I've found a connection that I'm willing to try out, that you know what I'm saying, then that's when that'll end.
That's
Then
tricky
that's
though
when it'll
because
end.
the other person don't be always willing to let go. Like it, you think it's that simple, but
And that's
them
what it is.
they be toxic too. They
Yeah.
want that they don't want that change. So yeah, you going that's why too at some
Yeah.
point, regardless of how good it feels or whatever, you gotta let that go if that's the decision you want to make. And I had to come to that place where I was like, okay, I'm not
Yep.
gonna keep sleeping with this person because it makes it harder for the next person, and just all these different things. But like you said, that's why I was like, I agree with that because
All you're doing is cheating on your future husband.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're literally just
Yeah.
cheating on your future husband, and like
Yeah.
it gives y'all a 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality, and doesn't it just it's impossible not to
Yeah, I told
because
myself I was like, I need to set a new standard,
Because
and
you're
I've been
still
chilling.
connected with this
Yeah.
person.
it's not even just that. It's just like I'm telling you, you can't go down. Like once you experience certain things, you can't go down. It's really really hard to. It's like these girls that are 19, 20 years old right now, and they're going on yachts and they're flying all over the place and doing all this stuff. They're never going to be able to settle for a guy that
Yeah.
can't take them to those places and give them those type of highs.
Maybe
It's all dopamine rushes.
Maybe it's different whenever you're the one that's putting them on. Because I know, look,
That's even more sad though.
No, but I agree with you.
Digmatized by the guy on his mom's couch. I'm just kidding.
oh, absolutely not. No, I mean like sexually, like when you've made the sex as good as it is, like
I mean, but
kinda,
you can
like,
teach anybody.
molded
Like if
this
they're
exactly.
willing to learn, then
Exactly.
that could
That's
be
what I'm
be
saying.
taught.
But that's why it's like, okay, this will work for now.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no, I had to
that's funny.
stop. I had to I'm not even gonna lie to
We've
you.
perfected this.
Because my attachment, people love to be like, oh, I'm gonna turn it off. I'm not in my feelings today. It's like, okay, but you do that and you're gonna be watch.
I gotta ask though, if you don't mind me asking, like, what are like the stats on this guy? Just because sometimes like the people, just everybody wants to know like these type of guys that are contextually alphas, that like that like have a girl that wants them so bad and like it's really hard for you to leave because he gives such good dick game and stuff like that. What is it that makes it so good? Because I can look at I can read books and they tell me exactly because like like Dr. David Buss can give me a list of stats of what makes a guy get a girl off. Now I want to just know how much is yours compared, like how close are they? Basically, is what I'm trying to ask. Like how tall is he?
I'm not gonna even
Like,
lie and say that this man is necessarily an alpha. I don't know if I'd put him in like the alpha category.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It can sometimes be contextual. Like it's based off
Yeah.
of certain context and like where he's at or who he's with or who he's
Yeah,
around
no.
and stuff like that.
No, I think that
How tall is he?
maybe an inch taller than me, like
So like
maybe 5'8",
maybe 5'8",
maybe
and then like how like does he go to the gym?
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So like
Naturally built though.
he's naturally built though.
Mhm.
Does he have like a V-frame torso, like wide shoulders and like a short or a small waist?
As far as like body style goes, he's pretty basic, but he's fit.
He's fit. Does
Mhm.
he have abs?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I say he's naturally built. Like, he doesn't have to go to the gym.
Are
He
you
just
saying
has
because he's more in shape and he
body.
probably better?
Well, no, so like I'm just bringing up like if you read Dr. David Buss's books, he literally talks about like for short-term mating strategies. There's like they've done studies on this. Like they've done T-shirt tests, they've done all types of things, saliva tests. There's all types of tests they've done to prove that women chase certain things in the short term, and then y'all
Mhm.
chase something completely else in the long term. And so like it's just really cool to see when it matches up perfectly. It's like does he
Probably
have certain
got
strategies?
rims
What does he
and
have?
gold teeth. Actually, no. I
Uh,
don't usually go for the hood niggas, but nice try.
No, yeah, no gold teeth, bro. How old is he? Yeah,
No
that's a good
rims.
question. How old is
He's
he?
32,
He's
33.
32. Okay, and you're 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and like, does he get other girls at all? Like, do you know that
Yeah.
he has? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm already gonna tell you. I'm not. Once again, I'm not calling him alpha or anything. It's contextual. But like the thing is, if he gets other girls, he's doing better than most other guys. Because if we look at
Okay.
the stats, it's like the top 4.5% of guys get a lot of
I
girls.
don't think I know a lot of guys that don't get girls. Maybe that's just the circles I hang
Oh,
They're
this is
definitely out there.
this is
For
actually
sure.
a really yeah.
in.
This is actually a really good thing to bring up. Like you said that like you don't know any. What do you think? Or I've already actually might have brought it up on one of your episodes. But what do you think the percentage difference is between men and women? Do you know this one?
We did, you
Okay,
did,
yeah.
but I don't remember the percentage.
Okay, well, don't ruin it. Let's just ask her.
Oh my god. Okay, what?
What's the percentage difference between men and women in America? Like, how many men do you think there are to women?
Oh, it's more of us than y'all for sure.
How many?
Ooh, I feel like I heard this too. I don't know. It's. Are you saying like percentage wise? Is it what?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like high. It got to be like
If it's not 50-50, what is it?
I would say either 60 or 70%.
60 or 70
Like
men?
no women to men.
Okay, yeah. More
Like it's
more
more
women.
women. It's more women than men for sure.
And why do you think that?
Well, I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything, but they said that I guess it's easier to come up with like the girl chromosome than it is the boy.
When did you
Um,
learn this? In
a long
biology?
time ago. I don't even know. It's just a long time.
This is
But no, but I mean, most people, it is. I think it is easier to have girls. Like I feel like when I meet guys or people that only have boys, it's like that's their thing. Like they only have boys. It's like most people have a bunch of girls, or it's like a mix. Mix of the two. But I feel like I don't know. People just don't have boys like that.
it's just crazy.
I don't know if it's
I
you
love
try to say sex positions. I don't know. I don't know.
I love to ask this question just because like when I look back to like biology or like science classes, like I never remember them telling us percentages of like a difference or anything. Like I'm
No, I
always
don't
like
think so either.
I never remember a teacher like saying, "Yo, it's like this and this is why, chromosomes or anything like that."
Yeah,
No, it's
I thought
basically 50-50 on the national or on a worldwide scale. It's 50-50 on an American scale. It's 53-47. So it's really not that different. But the reason why women like I love asking this, and you didn't even do that bad. Some women think it's 80-20. A lot of women are like it's 80-20. There's way
yeah, no,
more
I don't
fucking
think
women,
it's.
and the reason why it's a perception bias, and it's because like ugly guys are literally invisible to y'all. I'm not
Who
lying.
said that? No,
They're
I've heard that before.
literally
I've heard that before.
invisible. You don't see the guy at the grocery store stocking the shelves. You don't see the guy in the Taco Bell
He's a human
drive-through,
being. How do I not
but
see
you
him?
would never consider him as a sexual option. So he's invisible. Like it's basically
Mm,
a fucking girl that looks like a man. Seriously. Y'all
well,
y'all
yeah.
y'all
Well,
but
because women control. Women may not control like who we have sex with all the time. Well, we do. We control that. But I'm just saying, like
y'all are
y'all.
we're the gatekeepers of relationships. Y'all are the
Yeah, we
gatekeepers of
have the thing
sex.
that y'all want, so we can choose who and that. But I mean, other than that,
Yeah.
like that's all we got.
So who do you think it's better?
Yeah.
Like, do you think it's better to be a man today or be a woman?
I would say a woman because y'all still got it harder than us.
You
Like,
think so?
yeah, no, for sure.
What do you think?
I think it's harder for y'all.
I think existence is pain. No, I'm just kidding.
No, for-
I don't know. I think that life is hard. I think it depends on the person.
It really so like I like to say it's a time thing, and this is a horrible way to put it, but it's Mother Nature versus Father Time. So like Mother Nature, like when y'all are young at 2021, y'all fucking get whatever the fuck you want sometimes. If you're a pretty enough girl, you're gonna get whatever the fuck you want at 2021, 22. Like you get all your value up front and you slowly lose it. Like you're basically like a trust fund baby at 18 years old, and you get all this value at 18, then you slowly spend your money and it disappears by 30, and hopefully you lock down a guy by your 25 or 40, 25 or something, and you don't lose too much of your money, your value. For guys, though, it's father time. We're not going to become valuable until we're 30, 35. We're losers at 18, 19, 20. So I would say that y'all have all the privilege in the fucking world at 18, 19, 20, 21. And then at like 30, 35 is hard swaps. The guys get everything and the woman start taking L's. But at the same time as well, I was talking to you about this earlier. Like, I think it's easier for older women sometimes because at least y'all can still fuck whoever y'all want when you're older. You may not be able to lock them down and like have marriage or kids or whatever, but like the ability to still be able to just pick up your phone and be like, oh, I'm gonna go fuck this 25-year-old right now. Like, that's something that older men or just men in general will never fucking be able to have. A lot of them, like a lot of guys are such losers, they might die virgins. Yeah. But I actually go to a subreddit called Forever Alone Women, and it's women that like just horrible genetic lottery, like their face is really bad or they're super overweight or something like that. And those women, like, they're so depressed, and some of them are virgins at 30 or 35, and they're really never going to get a relationship because they have no social skills. They're super weird. Every guy thinks they're ugly, and they don't even want to use them for sex. You know,
you're on a site called Forever Alone Women, you're kind of just predispositioning yourself for
it's it's a subreddit. It's like it's one of my favorite. I go to the feminist subreddit. I go to like all these different subreddits, so I can always see what women are thinking in all the different parts of the world.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, he says a good when men age like wine, women age like milk. It's fucked up, bro. Fucked up. Ladies.
He said we're average. He's probably extremely average.
I'm not worried about it.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I would like to get him on the show and we could see.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, whenever it comes to relationships, like, or the last or the people that you are talking to right now or whatever, what is something that's pissing you off or confusing you about them? And maybe I can answer it because I'm a guy. I can like let you know like why he's thinking that or doing that.
You got us selling business now.
No, I'm like,
let's sell business now. Let me see. I can just pick. Look, you ain't gonna know who I'm talking about.
Like, I know all of my issues. I can.
Right, low key be knowing. Like, it's not always a secret, but I'm not really. I mean, I'm dating someone, but I think with that, we're just in a time where he's just like really busy he's trying to get some stuff going, started career wise and stuff. So we just ain't spending as much time as we used to, but it's starting to come back around, you know. So it's not really. I'm not dating anybody I think serious at that point, but I can try to think of something.
Are you like trying like do you like by the time you're like 50, 60, like do you really want to like be settled down? Like what's your goal? Do you want to be settled down or do you want to be single?
I want to be settled down way before then, but my thing is I know I have a lot of work to do on myself. Not even just like the mental, even physically for me. You know, I had like during COVID and just different points in my life, I had gained a lot of weight. I've lost some. I mean, I ain't where I need to be, but I've lost weight, and my goal is to lose more weight because I do know that to me, I don't live in this fantasy like, oh, you know, I don't think I'm the hottest shit walking. You know, I know that if I lost weight, I'd be more appealing to different type of men. You know, and we'll probably have more options, honestly.
Yeah,
and
1,000% you will.
And that's fine. Like, and that's the thing. That's why I'm like, I don't get offended when somebody say nothing because if anything, people still like me the size I am. I done met in shape guys, fit guys. They love women like us, and it's weird sometimes because it's like, dang, you work out all the time and you okay with
sometimes those girls cook the best. That's why.
Right, and I mean sometimes too, and sometimes it is just a sexual thing. It's like, oh, you know, they just want to.
I didn't realize there were so many guys that fetishized it until recently. We were doing like street interviews the other night, and there was a few guys that said that they like it was little skinny dudes. They're like, oh, I love big girls. I was like, what?
They do.
A lot of men prefer thicker women.
That shit really confuses. I'm not lying. That shit confuses the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
it's just a thing.
For me, it's not even just the physical, like how I look. It's how I feel. You know, people. I think some people try to make it seem like being overweight is like this glamorous thing, when in actuality, like there's troubles that come with it. You know, I have sciatic nerve pain from my pregnancy with my daughter, but the fact that my size hurt, it makes it worse.
Yeah, I like to say it shows depression. Like I think that you can tell if somebody's sad based off of their weight. Like,
because some people are emotional eaters. I'm a stressful type of eater.
And,
you know,
and like so like my thing is I've never had weight issues, but I'm also very like I don't eat enough. I've always skipped breakfast like my whole life. And like it's crazy if you look right now, there's a huge trend for fasting. Everybody is doing the skip the first meal. Everybody's not eating till 2, 4, 5. $5 as their first meal and shit. This shit is huge, and it's partially because the economy is so fucking bad. Everybody's coping with the fact that they're broke and can't buy food, but it's also the fact that that is like what we naturally did for thousands of years, and we walked a lot. If I could give any advice to you, because I have like a bunch of friends that are physical trainers, and they're most of them are helping women in my program and stuff like that. The biggest thing that they're teaching the women is just 15,000 steps a day. Just walking like crazy, and then also just doing the fast. If you skip breakfast and you also do that walking, you lose so much so fast. Like it's so crazy, and you're not even really working. You're not really at the gym doing crazy shit. You're literally just controlling your food. Like I've always believed that the only thing that's fucking up the world is gluttony.
Yeah.
It's just like eating too much, and that only happens because of the free market. Like the capitalistic system just wants us to eat all day long. Like go eat breakfast, go eat, buy the shit. Yeah, and the quality too. Yeah, obviously if we were eating fucking great foods, we'd be fine. So it's like this horrible quality food plus it being shoved in our face 24/7. Man,
and
like
there not being many other options. Healthy shit is expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
And
for me,
it's
a
basically
time thing. Sometimes it's like
And
I don't even eat
We all work.
breakfast half the time. I really, as far as meal wise goes, I eat like maybe two, but and that's why I stay my weight. Like I've gained
Same.
from different things, but I stay my weight because it's not I eat too much because I would be bigger and bigger and bigger. It's more of a I eat and that's all. I'm not eating less than what I'm choosing to eat is what's wrong.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily how much I'm
and
eating.
then you can't buy the good food because it's too expensive.
Yeah, well, and then for me, it's just time. Like I know, like I actually do. I was way more athletic as growing up. I used to box. I played basketball and things, so I was into physical stuff. But I think for me, I do get injured sometimes. I've worked out several different times and pulled this, pulled that. So I try to take my time with it, and it's just making time. Like really, honestly, I told myself I was gonna start trying to really go before I start work, so like at like 5 or so. And that's just me making myself like go take your ass to bed and wake up in the morning. It's really that easy. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's super hard. It's just we put the time in for what we want to, and sometimes I don't always choose me. If I got something to do for my kids or other stuff that's more that I feel is more important, it shouldn't be. My health should be the most important.
Right.
And I know that.
But no, kids end up always taking it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like I only have so like we don't we like to make it seem like we don't run out of energy, but we do. We do, and it's hard to kind of try to muster up something to go. But I'm all for walking parks and stuff. I'm into it. For me, it's just consistency. I got to work on my discipline and consistency. And I know I've talked to other men, and they look at overweight women as having a lack of discipline, and it's true. It is.
Yeah. No, I just really can't express to you like the caloric deficit plus the walking equals changing your damn life. I wanted to ask, like we're breaking down a lot of things, like showing, like you're so accountable in base, it's crazy. Like you're able to like really like call out certain things. I want to know though, for what about social media and like Instagram and stuff? Like I haven't seen your Instagram or anything like that, but like is that a hill that you will die on if like a guy is like, I don't like you having like I said, I've never seen your Instagram, but say you have like 1,000 dudes on there that follow you and they're always commenting and liking your stuff, like are you gonna die? Like, are you gonna die on that hill, or are you gonna be like, I'm not getting rid of my fucking Instagram for you? Like,
well, so I'm gonna speak from my experience. Like, what happens is like when I'm single, and especially if I'm like feeling my best, looking my best, I'm gonna be posting more. I'm gonna post on my story. Most of the time, it's gonna be my story more than anything. But I'll make posts and posts and posts. When I get into relationships, or when I start taking them serious, or when I was in my marriage, I didn't post the same. I didn't really post that much because I knew like if I posted some stuff, I was gonna get attention. This is pre-baby and all this stuff.
yeah.
I knew I was gonna get attention, and for me, I was loyal and didn't have problems with infidelity, but I didn't want them to become one either by entertaining it. So I would just be like, I wouldn't even entertain
if you had like say like that guy, if he was perfect in every way and he wasn't doing the infidelity stuff and shit like that, and say one day he came to you and he's like, look, babe, I don't like the Instagram, like I don't like how many guys follow you, like do you mind like just getting rid of it? And like say like he was even doing better than how he was, like super successful, like very rich and shit. Would you sacrifice it?
Social media is not that big for me. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, IG is
right.
life.
You,
like
you won't die on the hill.
Yeah, no, I can't. That would be dumb for me to say like I wouldn't get rid of my social media when it's people I'm willing to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people like for real, because some people you gotta be real. Like sometimes you gotta let go of certain people, and you can't bring them into your future or your marriage with other people. And if I'm willing to get rid of you, I'll get rid of Instagram. Like that's nothing, because I feel like
If anything, encourage
some
you to hang out more real life with those people that you are cool
yeah,
with.
yeah. And I mean, it's not something. It's just it's like the news basically for me. Like I don't watch the news on TV. It's like IG and
Yeah.
Facebook. That's my news, really.
Yeah, no,
That's
it
it.
is. It's just a feed. What about you?
Mhm.
Are you gonna die on the hill of your social media? Or
I
you're gonna get
mean,
rid of
She
it for
got
the
more
right guy?
followers than me, so
I
I'm
mean,
We're
regular.
gonna say he's the perfect guy though. We're not talking about a bum or some normal dude. Like
I
we're
mean,
gonna say
yeah.
he checks all your boxes.
I wouldn't mind getting rid of social media. It might make me side eye a little bit because I wouldn't necessarily understand why it would be necessary. But yeah, I mean, if it's that big of a thing, I would
Do
delete it.
you want to understand? Like why?
I mean, I could understand, but ultimately, whatever is said, I would ultimately think that because I don't. It's not that I would be very respectful about my posts, so it's not like I wouldn't be respectful of my relationship
Yeah.
on my social media.
So like
But I feel like that's kind of giving insecure.
so like
Just because there's guys that follow me, okay?
okay. Well, no.
Do you have
So
social media?
so
Are there
like
women that follow you?
you know what's crazy though is like when a guy says his preferences, we get hit with shaming language. But if she said she wanted a 6 foot guy, I'd say great. But no,
I didn't say I wanted a 6 foot guy. As
well,
long
I'm
as he's
just saying.
taller
I'm
than
saying
me,
if
I'm
a
only
woman,
5'5".
I'm saying if any
But
woman said that she wanted a 6 foot guy, we don't shame her for it, but we
Yeah,
shame men for their preferences all the time.
yeah, for
Like if a
sure.
guy says I want a girl that doesn't do this or doesn't do that, we're like, well, you're insecure, and it's just like why? Like that
well,
was shaming language.
I don't mind it. I mean, to be honest, at the end of the day, we all have preferences. I don't shame anybody for their preferences. I might not be your preference, and that's okay with me. That's
But
you have that
No,
right.
I'm real. Yeah,
yeah,
I get what you're
yeah.
saying. Cause that he's saying like if a man like wait,
Say I
for
don't want
I
a
would
girl
example.
that goes
feel
out to
the
the
same.
clubs.
I
I
would
would get
feel the
called
same,
insecure for that if
but I
I
would feel
told her
the
I didn't
same
want that.
about a woman who told her man, "I don't like all the girls that follow you. You should delete
But men and women aren't the
your
same.
social
So
media."
I have a perfect
She is
example.
also insecure.
I have a perfect example for you because men and women are not the same. This all goes back to the blank slate thing and thinking that like the way that you feel about things is the same way he feels about things. We have completely different emotions,
Right.
and it all goes back to the remember. Like we talk about this all the time. Like you are hardwired to protect your vagina because you could have a baby and you don't want the guy to run off. And I'm also hardwired to make sure that you don't sleep with other people because
Mhm.
I didn't have birth tests for years. Then for thousands of years, there was no telling who the child was. So I really give a fuck about that loyalty. So we're not the same.
Yeah.
But it all goes back to the fact that if he had a social media and say he was liking girls' pictures, okay, he was commenting on their things. Girls were DMing him and asking for $10, and he was sending it. Girls like he was actually DMing girls and saying, "Hey, you want to go? Like, hey, you want to hang out? Hey, you want to go do this? Hey, you want to go do this or anything?" Say he's doing all that. Would you say that's not fair in a relationship?
I would say that that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's basically
obviously.
cheating, right?
I mean, if I was doing the same thing, it would still be fucked up.
Now, what is a man's sexual market strategy and what's a woman's sexual market strategy?
I don't know.
Woman is physical,
Your
man is
market,
money.
your way to market yourself. Because a guy, we pursue. We're the ones who come
Mhm.
up to you and we ask, "Would you like to go on a
Mhm.
date?" For the most part, in general, men are always pursuing. We're always chasing.
Yep.
We're always fishermen. Okay, or we're always salesmen. We're always trying to sell ourselves. Okay,
Hmm.
y'all are always the buyers.
Yep. Consumers.
Y'all are always the
And
advertisers.
always.
You're always advertising yourself. You don't go and pursue the guy. You put a nice outfit on and post it on
Mhm.
Instagram, or you go out somewhere to a club and look nice or pretty.
Physical.
You're
Yeah.
all advertising. So a woman like this is I'm saying this from a perspective of a guy that I have a woman that has nothing on her Instagram and I have none of these worries or anything like that. And in return, I don't like no pictures. I don't go comment on
Yeah.
things. I don't DM other girls. I don't do any of my sexual market strategy. But my woman is also her account with
Yeah.
100 followers is closed. It's fucking whatever, and it only has
Private.
100 followers of a bunch of
Yeah.
women.
I get
You
exactly what
know,
you're saying.
so
Yeah.
like I don't. So I'm not condoning guys that sit there and simp and fucking send a bunch of messages to women and use their dating market
But if
strategy
they
all
can
day
stand
long in a
behind,
relationship.
yeah.
But when they're with a woman that has 10,000 followers and she's doing the same and she's living her strategy, and he's like, well, I need to fulfill mine as strong as possible. Then she
Yeah,
got
it just
10,000
opens the
followers.
door for that type of thought process, I
Mhm.
guess.
Well,
But
it's at the bottom line though is that we're just different. Like the
Mhm.
way that we do things are completely different. So if a guy is insecure about you showing yourself off, it's because that's what y'all do, and then
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
supposed to be
we
for
do,
him.
and then like you would be insecure about him doing all that stuff because he's going to fuck up y'all's emotional investment if he doesn't do that. Like this is another thing I like to ask. You know, like what would piss y'all off more, a guy who physically cheats on you or a guy who emotionally cheats on you? I don't know
oh,
if
we
you're here.
talked
Like,
about
yeah,
this. Hmm.
yeah. What is it?
Um, I would say the emotion part. Because I mean, the physical, I already know that doesn't always mean it. They don't mean shit to y'all half the time.
Yeah.
So it's more of the the emotional.
That's my favorite study I always quote, and the reason why is because if you look at gay people, trans people, straight people, if they have a Y chromosome, like it doesn't matter. The way it works is whichever one they are, a woman usually in general says, usually says that it's the emotional cheating that is the hardest for her, and for a man, it's always the physical, and it's because if a guy physically came and fucked you, once again, I couldn't tell if the kid was mine for thousands of years. So I really give a fuck about that. I really give a fuck about the physical cheating. Y'all really give a fuck about the emotional cheating, because if I say like I'm falling in love with that girl that I'm fucking and I'm emotionally attached to her and I'm taking care of her kids, or I'm fucking trying to like pay for her house or something, her apartments or something like that. That means I'm emotionally invested, and that's y'all's investment is completely gone from the past 5 years of your youth. And youth was a big deal thousands of years ago. So it's like if y'all lost that investment from your youth, it's a big fucking deal. And so like it all goes back to that blank slate, and like the reason why I wanted to bring this up right at the very end is because like we touched on a lot of really good points about like going to the gym, like basically making y'all like into the most like wifeable women, basically, like you were talking about you could lose some weight, you could do this. I want to bring up the social media thing last, because I want to say this is one of the most damaging thing in relationships is the social media thing. And then like the most damaging part is y'all standing on the hill and willing to die on it. If you're not willing to die on it, you're fine. You just need to be able to compromise sometimes and be like, okay, babe, you know what? I understand your position. I understand as a man, you could be insecure about some of these things because you're a man and it's different for you. And you're really trying to protect my pussy because you don't want no other guys around it, because you couldn't tell for thousands of years if there's my kid or not. So it's like, it's just about being, when you go to relationship counseling, like all they teach you is understanding. All they do. The reason
and
why
I think that's why I am the way that I am, because I've been to therapy on my own, just for my own personal reasons, but also throughout my marriage and stuff. We went to marriage counseling before we got married. We went during.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, we did things like that, and I don't like to say like the whole divorce thing. It was funny that old boy was like, "Oh, you broke it up and this and everything," because in reality, my ex husband divorced me. I didn't initiate the divorce. Now, I was the one to say that I didn't really know if I wanted to be in the relationship, but I was in the process of trying to figure it out and see. But it was just more like he wanted things the way he wanted it, and as soon as he wanted it, and when it didn't look like that was going to happen, then bam, he divorced me. All while still saying like, "Oh, I want my family, I want you," and it's like, well, how? You're going on
was
dates.
it as soon as you slept with another guy that he was done?
No.
Okay, because usually guys can't handle infidelity at all.
But I mean, that did make him be like, "Oh, you my wife," and I'm like, but it was crazy because I'm like, well, you were literally going on dates, you're having sex, and I was the one that wasn't. Like, I wasn't doing that.
It's just such a shame to go waste his resources on the other women. That's what bothers me the most.
And
Like,
I mean,
that's the thing that really pisses me off about
honestly,
infidelity.
and to me, it's like you weren't lacking anything, and that's what made me feel like it was because of the money. Because,
Now, did you ever hold sex from him?
no, never. I was
Okay.
taught, man. I was
Okay.
taught by people in this church that I would go to. One woman told me, she was like, even if you ain't in the mood, turn around, so we don't have to see the look on your face. And that's my mentality. My mentality was like,
because there's a lot of women that definitely push their husbands out by like denying them sex and stuff. That is definitely it is a thing. I'm just saying that is a thing.
My thing was like, don't withhold it. I mean, you all have them nights where you tired and stuff like that. But I always was like, if I don't do it, somebody else gonna try to do it, and I don't want nobody else in here. So it was like I had to. It really, and I mean, we were going out, we were having fun, like we were living our lives and we were living it good. But I think it was just for him. He said that it was just like, I guess, I don't know if he didn't see himself as attractive. I don't know. It's just like he said it was like to see if he still got it type stuff. And I mean, I think the woman was a challenge, because from what he told me, she was supposed to be a lesbian. So I guess for him, it was a challenge. Like, okay, she says she don't like me, I'm ugly. This is what he tells me that she said. And then bam,
I think the chasing thing is the most goofy excuse
he
ever.
was doing that, and then next thing, no, spending money. And I said, and you see, you had to. And I told him, I was like, but you see, yeah, you end up having sex with her, but you see, you have to spend money. You started spending money on her. That's what brought it to my attention.
Yeah,
is you started spending money, so she didn't even like you for you.
Yeah, no, that's what bothers me the most about. So like I teach men, like I have a mentorship for teaching men on how to get girls and stuff. Like my biggest thing that I'm against is like simping and chasing in any way, shape, and form. Because it's like the woman that really likes you as a guy, you don't have to do nothing for.
No.
Not a fucking thing for. Like she, and 9 times out of 10 today, because women sleep around so much, she probably was fucking a guy in the past that he didn't have to do nothing. So you look stupid if you do a bunch, because like somebody else in the past had to do nothing for that. And look at you. You know, like it's just so crazy how God, and it bothers me a lot when guys do it when they already have something good. It's just I don't know, like
Yeah.
I can respect them to an extent whenever it's just a fuck and they come straight back to you and it's nothing else. But
Yeah.
when
If it would have been one time,
once the
yeah.
emotional attachment starts happening, it's just like you're neglecting your children at this
Yeah.
point. That's how my brain sees it,
Yeah,
at
and
least.
that's my thing is, and mind you, I had no idea that this was happening. So he's still having sex with me. You know what I'm saying? And even if he's protected with her, he's not with me. You know what I'm saying? Not to throw it off. And it was just like, okay, you're risking that. And again, I had just given birth to our second daughter that he begged for, basically. Because I'm not to say I love my babies to death,
And it
but I
always
wasn't
happens after
ready.
kids too, or it always
Oh
happens
yeah,
like
and it's the
whenever people are
worst.
pregnant. You
And
know,
it's the worst because as a woman, like as his wife, I felt like that was like me being a trophy at that point because it's like I'm the mother of your child. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big deal. And so, and then to put my body through what I put it through because it's not easy. It's not, but just to have that happen soon after, it's like, oh my god,
that's
like
why I can't express to y'all enough. Like sometimes the 35, 40-year-old beta bucks guy is just so safe.
no,
The
no, no.
guy who just
It
has no
definitely
options and could never do anything else, like, or he's
it
just
is.
such a good little chubby guy, he could never do nothing. Like those guys are just the best because it's the pregnancy thing. Because what always happens with an alpha or a certain type of guy, as soon
They
as she's
might not
pregnant,
attracted
they're
to
gonna
you
run
and
off.
stuff.
Like I'll tell you, just I'm just being honest. Like as a guy who has a kid and stuff like that, like I mean, I wasn't that attracted to my BM anyways, but it made me just like when after she had like or when she was pregnant, it's just like I already was not sexually attracted to her for some reason. Like I found out more about her past like while she was pregnant, and that made me like very like unattracted.
Mm,
But like man, it just I can't express how there's this weird desire to just not want to be with that person after having a or after them being it was weird as fuck though. Like
mm,
I can't even explain the animal instinct behind it, but I feel like a lot of guys experience the same thing
yeah.
whenever they because I've heard so many horror stories of guys cheating whenever that like I didn't cheat whenever when my BM was pregnant the whole time too, but the urge, I will be honest and say
Mm,
that the urge was there to want to chase other girls, and
yeah.
it was just such a fuck. And what's so crazy is that what I learned is after I had my daughter, I refused to simp ever again. It was
Mm,
like once she was there and she was alive and in my life, it was like I can never spend money on another girl again. And
mm,
every date I went on after that, oh, if it first date, if that girl wasn't down for me, next girl. Because it's just like
mm,
obvious I'm not gonna waste my time anymore. I cannot waste my time and my money. I have a kid that I have to watch out for my future and my savings. But it's just crazy how fast it made me like change my mentality having
mm,
a kid.
mm,
Um, let's go to the no, we're not going to read anymore, guys. We're about to close it up. I just wanted to ask the ladies one last question. What did you think of the show? Did anything resonate? And would you come back? We didn't really get to dive deep on a lot of good topics today, but it was because like you were really based, so you're already like
he
kind of
heard.
on point
He's
with
like
everything.
divorce. Hold on, wait, what? But then I get that reaction when people hear I'm divorced and stuff. Everybody wants to know why.
Well, yeah, yeah,
So.
it's always a good topic. But what did you think of the show? Did anything resonate? Would you come back?
Um, it was good. Definitely not what I expected because I didn't expect anything. This was just a last minute call from her.
Thank you for coming
Um,
like last minute.
yeah, I thought about it, but I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not dressed. I'm not. I was running errands and stuff, but I was like, you know what? It'll be interesting. I'm all for like new experiences and stuff, and I've never done this before, so I really appreciate you for letting me do it. It was definitely fun. I got a lot from it. Again, I love to when I hear things and you men are saying the same things. Honestly, when you listen, you all are saying the same. Well, especially guys that are like good, like average. I'm not average and I don't know how much money you make. I don't know none of that. But I'm just saying a good average guy. There's plenty of them out there, but they have views like yours and they're real. And it's like if you just listen and not be so easily offended and just kind of listen to grow, then it's good. So I like to hear I'm like, okay, he's saying some of the same stuff that I talked to my friend about, or other people, and so that's cool. And I got a lot from that. And again, I'm really aware of myself and reality and all this other stuff. So I try to stay that way. I try to keep hearing things that'll keep me centered like that because I know the world don't revolve around me.
Yeah, stay based in reality, and like the really cool thing, like you were saying, like you like to learn about guys. Like I like to learn about girls. Like one of my favorite books is this one called by Marty Hazelton called Hormonal,
Mhm.
and it just literally breaks down every aspect of a woman's hormones, like every
Mhm.
aspect from like the whole cycle of the month, like what women are because y'all are attracted to different things at different cycles, like y'all's libido, like you being horny at 2 weeks after your period.
Mhm.
Like there's so much science to like basically like women are like a wave, throughout the month, and a guy kind of like spikes with his testosterone, but
Yeah.
it's situational based off of like maybe a fight is going to happen with a guy, like a danger is approaching, or I'm about to have sex. Like our testosterone is like that, but y'all are just like
Yeah. I'm down,
these
man.
big old
That's
waves.
life
but
of a woman.
but I love that book because I get to understand women better, and I really think that if women read books about men, like Alpha God by Hector Garcia, or The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss, like that's a book that's more equal. Like it talks equal about men and women in it. But like if you read these things, like we all can learn more about each other. And what were you saying earlier in counseling? The greatest thing is understanding. And it's like, oh, if I understand why women do this, I don't get mad anymore.
And see, I think it's important to me because I do want to get married again. Do I know my chances are probably harder now because of what I've been through and because I have children and because of my weight or just other things in general? Yeah, I do.
But at least you know how to work through those things.
Right, and those are changeable things, and that's how I look at it. I'm like, I can fix those. I can fix those things.
Yeah, it's not like being a 5'5" guy who can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's really awesome about it. Is like guys get shamed for height a lot, and like when a woman gets shamed for her weight, at least she can lose it. Yeah. But the guy who gets shamed for his height or like a small dick, it's like, oh, he's fucked.
Yeah,
he's not.
Baby.
You saw that dude got his.
I feel for y'all for real. I
I
feel for guys. I do. That's why I'm like, it's hard, and I get that because a lot of this stuff you can't control, and I do feel like if y'all could, y'all do. Like I do. I feel like men are very easy. Like y'all don't like y'all body, y'all get in the gym, and y'all don't play around with it like we can play around with it because we know somebody will still find us attractive.
Exactly.
For y'all, that's not the case.
Yeah, society makes us accountable. Like if you're a broke dude living in your mom's basement playing video games at 30,
get on your ass.
You getting slapped by every day by society. You fucking loser. Get the fuck up. Like
not us. That's okay. Like that's the life we chasing. Like that's the life women are chasing. So the bum life, low key.
Yeah. You definitely speaking facts tonight.
So
that's what we want.
Yeah, and
we don't want to have to work hard.
Yeah.
And see, and I'm not like that. Like I want a genuine thing, man. Like I'm really not. That's why I think I pay attention to men so much because I want what I had. I tell people that all the time, what do you want? I'm like, I want what I had. I want the family. I want the husband and everything. And I think the type of woman I am and I'm trying to become, I can get that again.
And and I really, honestly, I think you can too. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of people might disagree, but I really agree with you because you're very like based and like. That's why I asked you earlier. I said, did you take it for granted? And like the reason why I asked that was because I want to know if you get the opportunity to be in the same thing again. Would you do it?
I think certain points, yeah, I definitely.
And the biggest thing is just talking to that guy and making him understand that him giving his emotional investment to others is what's hard.
Yeah,
like that's what's not gonna fucking work.
Too young.
And like, and if he is that type of guy, it's like, well, then you better fucking do we're going Islamic. We need to go to Muslim temple this month or this weekend. And on top of that, we either need to be in the home together if you like that, like you like the whole thing, or you're both having the same size house. It's like he has to provide both things for both of y'all.
I've had a guy tell me that like he wanted me to kind of join in with him and his wife and stuff. And I was like, nah.
Yeah, I had that experience as well.
Yeah, I'm some dudes like when they meet me and I talk to them and stuff, they want to keep me around because they're like, dang, most women ain't saying, but it's like, nah, I'm still looking for what I'm looking for, and I'm not gonna settle. And I feel like until I become the version of me that I want to be, then I kind of would be settling. But I mean, as long as we understand each other and everything, that's kind of what.
And you can always grow together. Like I think you can always find a guy to go to the gym with you. Like it's not like
and I'm for it. Like and I understand the whole growing because again, I was with my ex-husband from 16. We ain't had shit. Like we literally went through our teenage adult lives together. We went from him not having a car, me having one, or him having us getting an apartment to a house. Like we went through all that. So I'm all for growing too. And I think a lot of this generation though, or societies make it to where they want you already made. That you got to come all the way together, fully healed, with all your benefits and perks and everything. And it's like, nah, man. Sometimes we figuring it out. If you're driven, and I can see, and you're going places like. That's important. That's what needs to be.
Sometimes it's the growing is what makes the relationship. The growing together and the getting the things together is what makes the relationship solid.
It's just it's really so like sometimes on the show I have to tell the women like don't do Build a Man, but the reason why is because they suck at discerning. Like you're gonna be good at discerning. I could tell. You're fine at discerning, but most of these girls are really bad at discerning. They can't tell when the guy's lying. They're really hard at telling honest
I was
stuff.
green, but in the beginning I was green. But I every time I took an L, I'm like, okay, what did I learn from that? And I had to do different. And I think that's a lot of my women friends. we know better, but we don't do better. That's what the main thing.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm not
You
preaching.
know better, but yeah.
We don't
You know
do
what?
better.
And
we have discernment and we ignore it because
Yeah,
we're
because
like
you ask those. If
desperate.
you ask those questions, it ruins the fantasy, and you want your fantasy to
Yes.
keep
And a
going.
lot of
I'm
women
realistic enough
accept.
to know that I create my own chaos.
Yeah,
I'm
and-
very self-aware, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean I do any better than
Yeah.
I should, like than I, than
Yeah.
anybody else for sure. I very much know what I'm doing
Yeah,
at all
we
times.
ignore our
but
discernment just because, and it's a lot of it's when you look, it's all inner self stuff. It's
And,
us
like
being
your
healthy.
brothers and your father, like back in the day, men helped y'all. So like most men don't help y'all today, and you don't give a shit if a man wanted to help you discern a guy. You'd be like, "Nah, I'm good. I can figure this out on my own." Yeah, women power. But yeah, what about you? What's something? What did you think of the show this time? Did anything resonate? Are you gonna come back?
I would come back too. I didn't say that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoyed the show, and I'm glad that I got Jessica here. So this was fun. It was interesting. We always have these types of conversations.
Oh yeah,
So this was like literally.
I love stuff like this.
This is literally nothing different than us talking on the phone like
Mhm.
for hours
Yeah.
because this is what we talk about. Though we are pretty different in the way we deal
we
with,
are,
with
man.
people.
I be
in
trying
general.
to convince.
Yeah,
my
y'all are
girl.
opposites. Yeah, I can tell. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
because she's
but I-
super like I be telling like one time. Okay, this is real quick.
Don't
We
you-
went to IHOP, right? And we were leaving. We were leaving, and she had a guy friend that was with us, and he went to open the door, and I let him open the door for me. She go and open the other door. I said, "Bitch, what you doing?"
I
said,
didn't even.
let that
The
man
whole
open
time,
the door.
whole
I'm like,
time
he's
I
trying
don't
to
even
be-
notice things like
I
that.
was like,
I'm
he's
used
trying
to
to be a
being-
gentleman, and me, I'm the type like if you ain't if a man is around, either he open my door, he don't. I don't care. I don't make a big deal of it. But if a man goes to do it, I let him be a gentleman. I don't tell a man, don't open the door for me
Oh,
or
yeah.
don't this. I don't do that. I let a
didn't
man
say
be
that.
a man. She didn't say that, but I was just like, why you open
I
the
didn't
door?
say
Let
that,
him
but
open the
it's
door for you.
for me.
And
That was like a natural thing. I'm used to being by myself.
Yeah,
so
he
I'm
just looked at him
literally
like-
just. I'm used to being by myself, so I'm just walking out the restaurant. You know what
But
I'm saying?
it's
To me, it wasn't
but
nothing.
for me, I try to make her cognizant of those
So-
things because I want her to be with someone, and so I be trying to tell like Rachel, quit, like because men don't really like
she
all that
wants me to
masculinity.
be with someone more than I want to be with someone. But
kinda.
Well, it's because single friends keep other friends single. So if she ever gets in a good relationship, she wants you to be in a good relationship too. So
Right.
y'all could do y'all could do
she knows
relationship
that
girl
we
shit
can-
together.
I can be a third wheel. She knows that.
We
No,
can,
I'm
but at
just
the
kidding.
same time,
I'm kidding.
you know, hey.
Ultimately, like I said earlier, I just really don't date right now, and it's for the same reasons. I have a lot of shit that I have going on. Like I need to get myself 100% right and be comfortable in myself before I really
Yeah.
even open up the
That,
door.
didn't depend on the man.
to-
100% is man. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Or even like open up the door to letting my guard down to the point where I feel like I can be in a relationship and be beneficial in a relationship.
Yeah.
Basically, because I want to benefit that person as much as they benefit
Right,
me.
facts.
So, and I can do the cooking and cleaning and shit like that, but if I can't be there emotionally and I can't be the present woman that this man needs, then what is it?
This is something that we always have to talk about though, because like one of the main things that we hear on this panel all the time, like whether it's y'all or just any of the girls on this panel, it's always like, I want to bring the same to the table. Like sometimes it's like this 50-50 mentality, and just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
no. I
careful
don't
with
mean
the
it like that.
mentality.
I just mean
Because
like, for
guys
me-
guys are predatory towards that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
for
definitely
sure.
know that.
Yeah.
For me, it's
I'll
more of
between
like
that.
a emotional thing. I have a lot of things that I'm in therapy as well. I have a lot of things that I'm working on because, as she said, my childhood was not the best. So it's created a lot of, like you said, the walls that I have built up. So I don't
gotta knock
really
'em down.
create a lot of
Mhm.
opportunity for anybody to even connect to me on that level. If you want me to, be
I
honest.
basically told myself, I was like, I was dealing with like my toxic situation, and I was realizing I'm like, man, it's not making me emotionally available to anybody else.
Yeah.
And that part was like, okay, I got to fix that, because if
Yeah.
I want to be with somebody, what am I even pursuing? Letting people pursue me if I'm not gonna be emotionally available to them? And then I had to just work on that. I had to work on my
Oh, yeah.
availability and stuff. Like
I've
not
passed
just
up a good amount of alphas, if you
I-
want to call them that.
I'm telling you,
just off of being unavailable for
yeah.
conversation.
You definitely got to work
I'm
yourself.
telling you though, like celibacy is the absolute best thing possible though, because
Oh, that I
nothing
know.
resets your brain like
That I know.
celibacy. Yeah.
And
It does.
and sex is not something that I very much enjoy sex. Is very important to me, but it's not something that I 100% need. I've done the celibate journey
so, like-
for extended periods of
Like
time.
if you read like the books and stuff, it definitely shows that like y'all are definitely the types where you could just get it once a month. Like y'all can literally wait once a month and get it just
I was
whenever.
laughing because I was like, look, you hear, I ain't say nothing because I was just like,
I
that ain't.
could. That's not to say that it wouldn't be a challenge. Just because I'm a very sexually oriented person,
Swap to the
but I
rose,
can,
man.
but
Swap to the
that's what I was
rose.
I've
gonna
been
say. But
chilling. Like,
I
no,
can
yeah.
legit like pleasure myself in like a minute and a half. So that's nothing, you know. But it's really the intimacy that's
I
Yeah,
know
like,
it's
I've
the
been focused.
vibe. I
I've been
know
yeah,
it's the
and
well,
vibe. I
no,
know.
I've been like legit focusing on just intimacy because I think I was the opposite. I was just kind of very sexual, but was looking at sex as intimacy, and it's like
hmm
it's not, you know.
not
And
the
so
same
now I'm
thing.
focused more on the intimacy, just
It's
spending
it's
time with each
animal.
other.
I'm telling you, like it's animal instinct. Like everything, like you could sit here and try to say, that like you can sit here and try to make sense of why you have sex or why you go do these things. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you there's studies why. Like there's reasons why you do this. It is
It's
your
primal.
hormones. It
It's
is.
primal.
It,
Yeah,
yeah, it's very primal.
yeah,
It's not.
it
It's
is.
not intimacy. It's not love. It's not. It's just the orgasm. It's just the
Yeah,
pleasure.
Yeah.
It's just dopamine. It's really.
yeah, yeah.
It gets very, very simple, but we like to confuse ourselves with all these words. But it's just like at the end of the day, you need to cut back on certain things because it's all addiction.
That
It's
triggers
all
it. Yeah, you got
addiction.
to
It
cut down on
is.
the stuff that
It's
triggers it,
Yeah,
and that's
I
what I
agree.
had to do.
and
I agree.
healing. Like don't get me wrong, the therapy is one part of the healing, but it's just one part of it.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
I'm
no,
telling
no.
you, like there's gonna be another healing layer that's gonna come with you cutting off like the guy digmatizing you.
I'm already
yeah, for
knowing.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm already
No,
knowing.
And like I understand why it's hard for y'all because like what do we also talk about all the time? It's bad for you to have a high body count. So what's the best thing to do?
yeah,
Go back to a previous alpha to keep your body count from going higher. Like
yeah.
I understand it's really hard for y'all.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
super hard.
but you're pointing out the fact that we do have a choice. We either can choose nothing or toxic
Hey, remember
toxicity.
free will or determinism.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
are y'all doing what you're doing because your environment taught you and told you this is all okay and this is how I feel and stuff, or or do you have free
Or
will?
you
You could
just choosing.
choose. Yeah.
hmm
I would say that
and a lot
y'all.
of people don't. A lot of women don't want to go without. Even like I'm gonna be real. At one point, I was just like, I don't want to be celibate. Like that just
Right.
wasn't my thought process. Now I don't have a problem with it. Like I'm not so against it. But it's a lot of women out here that are against that. Like we don't really want that.
Yeah.
Not if we had something consistent and we still have that option. Like we usually
hmm
gonna want it, even if we don't need it. But it got to a point for me. I was just like, nah, I can't.
Just remember you're cheating on
At
your
what
husband.
point is it
Nah, for
worth?
real.
At
Cheating
what
on your
point is it
husband.
not worth it?
And it's not,
Like,
yeah, it's not worth the stress, the emotional, because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, we are built different, and for us, it's
hmm
an emotional attachment. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Exactly.
I don't
We
care if you
are.
say you cut
Yeah,
your
we're
feelings off or
connected.
not.
hmm
It's still going to be an emotional attachment, regardless.
Absolutely.
For that man, probably not, but for us, it is, and that's why it's like,
I
nah, I
agree.
gotta stop. I can't do it just for the because I can sit here and say my emotions out of it, and then come back next week and I'm in love again. Like,
Nah, for real.
why you didn't do nothing?
Yeah.
Like,
Nothing.
You know what's crazy too?
Nothing.
Is like the number one thing I hear on the show too is they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm just fucking. I don't have no emotion. I'm not in love or
whatever,
anything." And it's like, bro, I swear to God, every time y'all actually like the guy who digmatized or like the guy who literally gives you orgasms nearly every time y'all fuck. You love that guy. Like
Yeah.
I don't care
Every
what
time.
anybody says.
He
Every
But
robbed. He
time.
if
gonna
I
make
had
you
a
rob,
if
probably.
I
Yeah.
had $1 though for every time a girl said that she's not in love with those guys, it's ridiculous,
It's because
dude.
they hurt. They feelings
I
hurt.
never
And they don't
said.
want
I
to
Now,
never
admit
now,
said
now
I
it's definitely
wasn't in
not
love.
unconditional. Like I
I
definitely know it's
love.
conditional, and y'all would get over that love if something better came.
Mhm.
I love a lot of people because that's the type of person I am. Not like in a romantic way. So yeah, I'm not gonna say I don't love the individual,
No,
but
I love the person.
but
I ain't gonna
do
lie.
I do am I aware enough and cognitively able enough to know what it is and what it isn't? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not real, and
Yeah,
that's all that matters at the end of the day,
exactly.
honestly.
And I took away that Jessica needs to come on the next podcast with me.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
of course, I'll come back
Yeah.
whenever.
So usually like on Fridays we have bigger panels. So if you came back like on a Friday when it's like a full panel, it'd be really fun because honestly, the things that I like the most on the show is like the whole point. Like I call this a pod class, and like I do this because I really want to teach. I have this whole theory that if I can teach women these things, I can also make men better because
Yeah.
the more women keep their legs closed, the more like Tyrone or Chad or Edgar. He can't be on his mom's fucking couch fucking girls still because like if I tell those girls stop letting those guys fuck, he can't do that shit
They
no
gotta do
more.
something
He has to
defensive.
go get a
Yeah.
job and
Yeah.
shit.
That's
And
facts.
so like I have this whole theory and
I
like
agree.
I need women like you to come on because if you're based, you've gone through a lot of experience, you know how men are really well, and you come and you sit down and you hear some of these young girls at 18, 19, 20 and they're like, "Nah, I'm the shit, blah blah blah."
My
And
friend
you can
this
humble them.
morning, my
Mhm.
friend this morning literally told me he had a debate with a woman who said that she could have a baby until she's like 99. And I'm just
Oh wow.
like, sis, come on,
You don't even
come
know your
on, like,
anatomy, sis.
Yeah, that's
nah.
really weird honestly. She didn't even know her own
But that's
anatomy.
Yeah.
to go to say this crazy stuff
That's
women
how
will
bad
say. Yeah,
education
that's
is,
how
yeah.
bad it is. Like, people will say the craziest things, and it's like, no, sis, like, nah. But and,
You got a solid
and that
40.
that would be really good because
Tops.
honestly, I don't get to talk to a lot of women about stuff like this. Like I do talk to my friend. If you're my friend, you're gonna get an earful, but I don't really put nothing out for women. But like you said, it would be good for them to hear another woman kind of agreeing with you guys. Again, I don't agree with everything a man say, and I know, but I understand we're different, and
Mhm.
I can understand your point of view as long as you understand mine and respect it. Cool, like that's
Yeah.
fine with me. I'm not gonna argue you down. I mean, if you're wrong, you're wrong, or like I can be argumentative, but I mean that's a good point that you make because I don't talk to enough women about what I know, and the ones I do, they be like, wow, like I didn't think like that. I didn't see it like that.
No, like they need it. Like, and I also do this because, like, in some, like this was a very tame show, but sometimes it's not tame. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's a lot of
yeah,
voices, a lot of like, and I'm very like, yeah, I'm very masculine dude. Like, I'm very like, no, this is how it fucking
yeah.
is, and like you need to keep your fucking like. I'm very like driven and like hard about it, and sometimes that looks really bad. I think it's good for certain women to see that, but say like a woman that's
Mhm.
gone through trauma. They hate it. Like they like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I repelled them. I'll probably never see those girls again. But then say a girl that had a strong father figure or a strong
Mhm.
brother or something, they love it. They're like, okay, he's right. I wish my father would have taught me like this, but he was too scared because this guy in society fucking shames men for telling women not to fuck people. So it's like
Mhm.
some of them love hearing it this way, but then some of them I don't connect with, and
Yeah.
I need a girl on the panel to connect with them because I can't connect with them. Or
Yeah,
sometimes
you
I have a
can't
guy.
because your
Yeah.
delivery probably too.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
deliver it
It's
in a
just part of
way.
my show, though. Like I'm always gonna do it that way. Like sometimes I have special guests on, like Street Hymns or Humble Dad, like these guys that are very tradcon dudes, and they're very Christian tradcon guys, and they talk very calm, and they know how to like bring a woman's voice down, and then like
Mhm.
explain it to her very calmly. I'm just not that guy.
Yeah,
I believe
you know
in.
your strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah,
and that's
well,
good.
I'm flipping tables in the temple right now, man. Like
I'm just always here to be devil's advocate.
yeah. No, that's what we need. We need.
100%.
They,
I'm gonna argue for the wrong side every
She
time.
she
we need that.
will, and me and her even like yeah
But
we do
but we need that in society. We need
yeah
the two opposites to always come together and have these debates, or else we learn that we are intolerant of the other side, and that's
yeah
bullshit. We need to be tolerant of
we do
everything.
we
Yeah.
do.
So no, good job, guys. This was a fucking awesome show. I
It
really liked
was.
it.
Thank you.
Everybody like the video, please. And we had no clown action tonight, none at all. But yeah, thank y'all all so much for coming, guys. Actually, it's almost to 2 hours, so I'm gonna wait 40 seconds for it to get to 2 hours, just so it's a 2 hour stream. It just looks really pretty with a 2 at the end. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's 2 hours! Like I should click this now because it's 2 hours." So just for like 30 more seconds,
That's
like
fine.
what's something that we could say really quick for the last 30 seconds?
Oh
Something
Thank you all
God,
for watching.
yeah. Thank you everybody for talking shit like y'all always do.
yeah,
I
go
really
on and
appreciate
talk.
everybody.
Yeah, nah, I ain't gonna say no names,
No,
but
no,
you
no,
know
no,
who
no,
you
no. You
are.
can talk shit. Yeah, yeah.
Emmanuel, king of
Look,
what is
look, King of I don't know who that is.
King of
Lao?
Leo.
Look, it don't
Wow.
make sense because I'm a good ass woman. That's what I'm saying. Like if you talk to me, it will make a whole lot of sense, but you know you don't. So
It's okay. They're all
it's
low
cool.
But like we
key
said, we need to
trying to
get
hit on
King. We
y'all.
need to get King on here.
Okay, yeah. King,
His average ass.
King, come pull up. But yeah, all right, we just hit 2 hours. But yeah. All right, guys. Peace the fuck out. Thank you for staying for the 2 hours if any of y'all did, man.
Right.
Thank you, ladies. Peace out.